Well, James Maddison and Romero were named as vice-captains by Postecoglou. Maddison looks quite vocal out there in the minute, as Son's just having a word with the match official, Robert Jones. Looks like they're going to form a little bit of a huddle, though Son is actually going to go across.
And clap the fans.
He's going over, so Son is going to go over with the Spurs players, and the new Tottenham captain takes the Spurs team over to that far side, and that is where they are going to get that huddle. They're going to gather very, very close in the corner to the Tottenham travelling support.
A real sign of togetherness there. I see Maddison, he was probably leading it. He was saying to Son, let's go over there and let's do it in front of the fans. You want to get the fans on side. Tottenham fans have been disgruntled for the last couple of years and very reliant on Harry Kane. He's moved on now, so now someone else has to step up to the mark.
Such was the noise. The full time at Pittodrie, incidentally. Aberdeen 1, Celtic 3. So Celtic joins St Mirren 2 wins out of 2. One of Hearts or Kilmarnock might be able to join them when they get underway at 3 o'clock at Tynecastle. The other game is at Fir Park, Motherwell against Hibs. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. If you're out and about, you can also listen through the BBC Sounds app as well. As at the moment, just looking down there, Robert Jones, the referee's come across. Thomas Frankie's also having a word as well. Just wonder if there might be a breakdown in the referee's communication system.
I've seen this all the time, Deno. Why don't they check it? I bet they've run out of battery. I think I might have to run and go and get them a battery.
Well, don't you go. You might get lost in the London traffic. Again. So there's just a slight delay in proceedings at the moment, although now Robert Jones, with a hop, skip and a jump, runs into the centre circle. There are still a lot of conversations taking place. I noticed the TV floor manager is heavily involved. This is the first of 2 commentaries for you today on 5 Live Premier League Sunday. We will be remaining in the capital for Chelsea against Liverpool at 4:30, but also with this slight delay, it's the perfect reminder that the 2 semi-finals in the Women's World Cup will be live on BBC Radio 5 Live Tuesday and Wednesday. We're the only radio station. He'll be in Australia and Athens on Wednesday for England against Australia. That's 11 o'clock on Wednesday morning. That's the second semi. And by then, of course, England and Australia will know who they're going to face in the final, because Spain and Sweden, that gets underway at 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning.
If England beat Australia, they win it. I think Australia are one of the best teams around, and now Sam Kerr's getting back to full fitness. She is the best women's striker for me in the world. So this will be England's hardest game. I thought they were good against Colombia. I thought they were disappointing against Nigeria, but it doesn't matter. That's tournament football. I think they've got a great chance. They beat Australia. I think they'll go on and win it.
Well, it was certainly a tense penalty shootout, Australia against France yesterday. They eventually got there at the 3rd time of asking. If you've just tuned in and you're thinking, hold on, why are Clinton and Ian warbling on when it's 3 minutes past 2, and you're thinking we want the game? Well, we're not missing any of the action. There's I think I can only imagine a slight problem with the referee's communication system, because Robert Jones now is coming across once again. It's the perfect time as well if you want an insight into the referee's thinking under Howard Webb. And I said this yesterday when I did the commentary at Brighton. Mark Chapman in conversation with Howard Webb on the 5 Live Football Daily podcast. It was a special conversation. It was a sit down. It was probably about, I don't know,
George just found out,
short of half an hour, but it does give you a real insight as to how the referees are thinking. So that's Martin Allen down there, isn't he? So he must be some sort of observer.
Mad dog.
So he's having a word now with Robert Jones, and we're going to get the official. I would imagine that oh no, it's not the communication system. It's the water. There's an issue. George is typing it out. Sanitation. There's a problem with the water sanitation in the stadium.
Explain that to me, and explain that to our listeners as well, because they won't what has that got to do with the game starting? Deno, please explain that to me, or am I being silly?
No, I'm perplexed.
Okay, I thought it was just me.
Yeah,
that can be a bit silly at times.
Yeah. I mean,
you're not meant to agree and say yeah.
No, I'm thinking of why there might be an issue with the water sanitation. That's a new one.
Yeah, it's a new one. I've never known a game to be stopped for that.
Yeah.
I've seen some things and I've heard some things, but that's very unusual.
But equally bearing in mind that most of the supporters have already taken to their seats, it would only become a problem possibly more at half-time.
Yes. I think we're starting now. Look,
yeah,
there he is.
Yeah, we're going through the procedure now where Robert. It can't have been much of an issue then, could it?
Exactly.
a delay of 5 minutes. There was a lengthier delay yesterday at Arsenal against Forest. That was down to turnstiles. There are always, I guess, teething problems for the.
I couldn't believe that.
Oh, just over the kicking off shortly. Well, we could have gathered that. Anyway, a sanitation issue. I wonder if Tottenham Hotspur will. I was going to make a reference to that. Can they keep a clean sheet?
I knew something was coming.
Because last season they actually had their worst defensive record in 30 years. They conceded 63 goals. Anyway, after a little hiatus, we are going to get underway. They're in their change strip. It's like a all charcoal grey away outfit for their shirts and their shorts for Tottenham, and then the white trousers. Brentford, of course, in their customary colours, the red and white striped shirts, black shorts. There's no Ben Mee in this side. We did give you the teams a number of minutes ago. Ben Mee, though, should be back in contention next week. He's just out with a minor injury. As the players take the knee, the message from the Premier League: there is no room for racism. And in fact, I noticed there's some hoardings at the back of the stand away towards our right. Bees fans against discrimination, Bees fans against racism. And so that message is loud and clear, and we are underway. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds, for what should be a really entertaining game of football for Brentford against Tottenham Hotspur. We've got Chelsea and Liverpool to come at 4:30. And Brentford, in their red and white shirts as the sun shines, are playing from right to left as we look. Certainly Vicario is a tall keeper. The Italian is 6'4". He'll be tested today by Brentford as Mbumo races after that ball on that far side, and Romero comes across and then just cuts the ball back. Udogie gets it away, the left back for Spurs, and they give it away. And Mbumo, Jensen with the early ball in, and Romero had to cut that one out, and Udogie this time once again will pass the ball across his area and now skip forward. There's an electric pace to the game in these opening 50-60 seconds. This is Hickey now. Hickey for Brentford. Waits and passes the ball back. Pinnock, edge of the centre circle. They were only beaten twice at home last season. Arsenal and Newcastle United. They're the only side actually to do the double over the champions, the treble winners, Manchester City, in the Premier League last season. So Brentford, they had a terrific campaign. If they can get anywhere near where they achieved last year, then Thomas Frank will be delighted with that. As the ball is played back to the keeper, Vicario, he was a little bit slow in releasing it off his left foot. There was one touch off his right, and Whistle was quickly closing him down. And it's been a little bit of an uncertain start for Spurs.
Yeah, Vicario, welcome to the Premier League. You're not going to have that much time. And, you know, Tottenham, I'm looking at them. They want to play out from the back, Deno. He has to be good with his feet. It's standard now. Goalkeepers have to be good. And you don't get that much time in the Premier League. Good closing down by Vissa.
Guillermo Vicario, 26-year-old Italian, signed from Empoli, 5-year deal. Italian international. He might be unaware that Roberto Mancini has resigned. As that was the breaking news we brought you ahead of kickoff, and now there's been a clash of heads. Romero is one of the players who's down. Hard to see who it's Mbumo who's the other player who's down. So straight away the two physios are on, and of course you can certainly. Well, that was a painful one for Romero, right on the. He's clashed the back of Mbumo's head down at the front of his. Top of his forehead.
Ooh. Hopefully both all right.
So another stoppage in play. What would constitute a good season for you for Tottenham Hotspur without Harry Kane?
Good question. I'd say finishing in the top 7. Definitely. I feel they need to do it. I know they didn't last season and they had Harry Kane, the 30 goals, but you never know. You can have a season, but I think the manager plays a big part. I like him. I think the manager's good. I think he's a really good manager. I like the way even though we've been watching it for 3 or 4 minutes and they can't get out of their half, they are trying to get the ball down and play. And you ask most Tottenham fans, they want to see attractive football. They've seen the last few years with Jose Mourinho and Conte and not being attractive football and not getting anywhere. They want to see attractive football, so I think he's the right man to take them forward.
This gives you an idea, though, as the treatment continues to Romero and Mbeumo. It's good to see both players are sitting up, but they'll have to go through all the protocols regarding concussion as well to make sure that they're okay. But just to give you an indication of the instability at Tottenham in recent seasons, this is the 5th successive season that Spurs have started a new campaign with a different manager.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Pochettino, Mourinho, Nuno Espirito Santo, Conte, and now Postecoglou.
Yeah. Hopefully they've got the right man. Can't keep changing managers. You just can't get settled. And that's the same with players as well. So yeah, you need a stable manager, and hopefully they've got the right one.
Brentford on their social media have posted, please be aware that we're currently dealing with an issue in relation to the water supply into the stadium, which is affecting all related facilities. We'll provide a further update in due course.
Have they paid the water bill?
I think that was one of the replies.
Yeah, that's one of the replies. That's what I've seen here.
But that was the reason why we started 5 minutes late. That's the reason why we're only in the 5th minute, and there will be a little bit of added on time as the two players have gone off the field of play. And Mbeumo is being walked around on that far side. Romero on this near side. I remember Vertonghen a few years ago. He had bad concussion, didn't he?
He carried on, didn't he?
Carried on, and then he had to leave the field of play. But Romero looks to be okay.
Yeah.
And Mbeumo's also back on the field of play too. So that's good to see. 0-0, BBC Radio 5 Live. Brentford against Tottenham Hotspur. Here is Bissouma over the halfway line. Passes the ball inside to Emerson. Skips ahead of him. Back towards... this is Emerson now with Bissouma taking over. Bissouma just outside the centre circle. Maddison comes deep. James Maddison, one of 4 debutants in this Tottenham Hotspur starting 11. The other one here is Mickey van der Ven, Dutch under-21 international. I'm told he's very, very quick. Left-sided central defender, can also play at left back. Plenty of pace. Bissouma almost caught there. They keep on luring Brentford in, but they're beating the high press from Brentford, but Norgard was almost close to an interception. Now here is Maddison. Postecoglou arches his back, arms open wide. I think he wanted Maddison to release the ball, but he held on to it. He now finds Skip forward towards Kulusevski on this near side to right. Tottenham Hotspur playing from left to right. And Emerson goes inside. Maddison, no foul from Jensen. Wisser passes the ball back. And now we can see what the feet and the footwork of the other goalkeeper, Mark Flecken, is like in a garish pink goalkeeping outfit away towards our right-hand side. It was a low distribution. Tottenham have won it back. Their new captain, Son, on the far side, strokes the ball back along the ground. Bissouma goes short and in field with a square pass towards Maddison. He goes further in field now to Skip. Skip waits. Brentford have got everybody back behind the ball.
Yeah, it's hard to break that back down, haven't they? Every player inside the half, inside the Brentford half.
Well, now it's Udogie, Richarlison, back to the Tottenham left back, midway through the Brentford half. Romero.
You know what I've noticed then? Wait, hold on. Yeah, so you know what I've noticed, and every team's doing it. It's like what Man City did. Fullbacks and Doggy and Royal, they're coming so inside, so they're making it so compact, and then they're trying to free the likes of Kulusevski and Son on the other side. Everyone's doing it now. Yeah. See, look at where Emerson Royal is now. He's playing in centre mid and skips out here.
But that was a feature of Postecoglou at Celtic. There was a game I remember doing, and Anthony Ralston popped up with a goal, and I'm thinking, what's the right back doing popping up with a goal like that? But that's what he does. Here is Maddison, slides it through towards Richarlison. Richarlison, incidentally, I mean, he has been in English football for a while. I mean, his time last season, I think 1 goal, couple of assists, hasn't produced. He underperformed.
Definitely, and they pay big money for him, and now he's going to get his opportunity, and he has to take his opportunity, because he doesn't, they'll be in the window in the transfer market for a new striker.
He did actually make 18 appearances off the bench, which was the most for Tottenham Hotspur, but he does need to step up a little bit. Found him a little bit sulky at times last season, Richarlison, but now he's got an opportunity to blossom. And Tottenham Hotspur have got maybe something to try and do from a set piece, as Maddison gets the ovation as they get a corner kick to Tottenham Hotspur, right in front of that travelling support in that quadrant, that far corner. Spurs playing from left to right. 8 minutes played, and Maddison's going to take this in-swinging corner for Tottenham Hotspur. Son makes a run to the near side of the penalty area, goes over his head, curls almost towards Richarlison, comes out to Kulusevski, waits for the ball to settle, shifts it onto his left foot, headed forward by Van der Ven, and then his header drops wide, a good 2 or 3 yards to the right hand post, and out for a goal kick to Brentford. 9 minutes played, yet to have a serious chance. You look deep in thought, Clinton.
Yeah, because Royale is looking at the bench and saying that Christian Romero is still struggling with his head and he's throwing his hands up, but he just spoke to Romero. Romero's gone, I'm all right. So I think that, wait till he says something, and he is all right. Look, he just won a header.
Well, from that header, Richarlison directs his header out towards Son. Son on the left-hand side. Maddison now goes ahead of him. Maddison looks to try and turn. Left corner of the penalty area. Goes to ground under a challenge and gets a free kick. And they're going to take it quickly now. Jensen might get a yellow card here because he prevented a quick free kick. They looked to do it, and Jensen just stopped him from doing it.
I think what saves him is James Maddison was still on the floor, but
right.
He's a spot on. I've seen a lot of bookings on the weekend. You can't do that.
But again, that's probably habit for a player. I want to stop it.
Stop it, yeah.
That eventually is going to go out of the game. And you're right, because Maddison was still on the field of play. They've got 2 in the wall. It is bang on the left corner of the penalty area for Tottenham Hotspur. 0-0, 5 live, also live on BBC Sounds. We're in the 10th minute. Maddison is going to take it. We know what Maddison can do. Looks like he's eyeing this one up for goal. Maddison now does go for goal and headed in.
And it's Romero.
Christian Romero inside the 6-yard box. He couldn't miss. It was a flat ball in from Maddison. Romero threw himself at him. Close range header.
He is struggling.
But Romero now is feeling the effects of that concussion from earlier on, and the Spurs players' celebrations are cut short, and they want the physio to come back on. And Romero's last bit of action might be to give Spurs an 11th minute lead.
Oh, and there will be a VAR check, but I think he might just be onside. But yeah, he is struggling, but then he looks like he's all right again. But Emerson Rowe, I did say earlier, he kept gesturing over to the bench that he could, but it's a great ball from Maddison. It's a terrific header from Romero. He wants to get there, but VAR checking.
Possible offside.
Yes, he did.
I mean, it really was fired in. This might not. Ooh.
It's this bit because you look at the Brentford players.
There's an outstretched leg from a Brentford defender that might
have kept him on side.
Might just be playing him, and he's leaning as well.
Yeah, he's leaning. So it could be. It's his shoulder. His shoulder is ahead of his foot, the Brentford player's foot.
Tony Harrington.
Good luck, VAR.
Back at Stockley Park's going to have a look at this.
And they look like Tottenham might be making a change as well. He might be struggling.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting, was it? Straight away after the celebrations, all the players were saying, "Come for the physio."
Yeah.
And there was a lot of pace on that ball as well. So Christian Romero might be being replaced. Meanwhile, we're waiting for the VAR to have a look at it, and they're having a long look at it as well. Very, very tight.
Look at it.
I think
he's onside for me. Look at the foot.
Look. Is it Nathan Collins, the defender?
Yeah, it's Collins. It's Collins.
It's his right knee that might just be playing Romero onside.
Yeah, you're right.
This is going to come down to millimetres.
But this is taking too long, though, Dano. I know they have to get it right, but this is taking too long. He's onside. Green light. He's onside. He's onside.
Goal stands.
Goal stands.
Goal stands.
We know before the referee.
The message will be coming through from Tony Harrington, the VAR, to the match official Robert Jones. That was a tight one. But there is confirmation of the whistle from Robert Jones, and the referee points to the centre spot, to the centre circle. The Spurs fans celebrate, and then straight away Christian Romero is coming off.
No, he's saying
and
he's all right.
saying no.
No, he's saying he's all right, but the manager's saying no. And the manager's saying no. Look, the manager's telling him to come off. He's saying no. He don't want to come off.
Romero is putting the thumbs up. Postecoglou's saying you're coming off. Romero responds by putting 2 thumbs up. And Postecoglou says, no, you're still coming off. The thing is that you just cannot afford to take a chance with any head injury. Romero is still pleading with his manager not to remove him. And yet, and there is an embrace. Both hands go on the two cheeks of Romero from Postecoglou, and Romero comes off, and Davinson Sanchez comes on to replace him. Player welfare is paramount.
Yeah, it is important. The manager made the right decision there, because he was struggling a few times.
And that will go down as a concussion substitute as well for Sanchez to replace Romero. Only his second goal for Tottenham Hotspur, and on his 50th Premier League appearance, although it didn't last long, it was at least a telling one.
He's not happy. He's just threw the top down and he's gone down the tunnel. But I think if he goes home and they win 1-0 and he's going to win and go, he'll be happy.
I'm thinking as well with the new protocols this season, I've got a feeling that now that will mean at least a 7-day.
Yeah,
if it is concussion,
it'll
mean that he'll be absent for 7 days now. But that'll of course will get tidied up after the game with Ange Postecoglou. Tell you what, we're going to have a lot of additional time in the first half here.
You're right.
With we had a clash of heads, didn't we? And then we've had the goal celebration, the VAR. It'll all add up. But 15 minutes played. Tottenham Hotspur through Romero, leading by 1-0. Brentford have a throw. It's going to be a long one as well, as Jensen backs up to the advertising horde on that right-hand side. It's a long throw. It's hurled in towards the near post. Vicario punches it away. Maddison then turns and clears for Spurs. Rico Henry goes back to Flecken, the goalkeeper, back to Rico Henry. Kulusevski pushes towards him, and Mbeumo passes the ball back. Kulusevski leans into Henry, who recovered well to win that second duel against Emerson. Mbeumo tries to release Wissa. Wissa now against Van der Ven. Van der Ven is quick, by the way. Those legs were quickly in full stride to curb the threat. Brentford still have it. Jensen inside to Norgard. Norgard on the stretch. Emerson challenged well. Here is Wissa. He's got a man over, and Mbeumo beaten out of the near post by the goalkeeper. Vicario behind for a corner kick. Spurs lead by 1-0. Good response from Brentford.
Yeah, you're right. Van der Ven is quick. He's really quick. But yeah, it was good play there from Brentford. In particular, Wissa. He does well the timing of the pass. Good shot from Mbeumo. Good save from Vicario.
Straight at the Italian keeper, but nevertheless it was a good save. Firm wrists with both hands to turn the ball behind. Brentford trailing. 16 minutes played. Corner kick near side, the left, playing from right to left as we look. Jensen to take it in towards the near post. Comes out the edge of the area. Rico Henry passes the ball to Mbeumo. Jensen level with the penalty area infield. Ball then passed back out towards Mbeumo. Delivers the cross. Collins had stayed forward. Comes out to Hickey. Looks to get a shooting opportunity. Does shoot. Takes a deflection. Go behind for another corner.
Yeah, the crowd are getting behind him now, and Brentford are getting a bit of possession, in particular down this left-hand side. Good cross from Mbeumo. And then it comes to Hickey. Comes on his left foot. Good defending.
Get the ball in it. Every opportunity.
Definitely.
At the earliest opportunity to Brentford.
100%. Test this new goalkeeper out, Vicario.
Yeah. And Mbeumo's gone across towards that far side, the right. Jensen is available for the short option. Janelt is level with the area. Son at the minute, they've actually taken Bissouma out there as well because of the Brentford players, but it's going to go into the middle. Comes in now from that far side, the right, delivered towards the far post. Header back, flicked forward by Hickey. The overhead kick was a good one by Wissa. And it was well positioned, and in the end a comfortable save from Vicario. Yeah,
it was a well worked corner. Aya got free at the back post. He nodded it back across, and Wissa with an overhead kick, but it's a comfortable save.
Good acrobatics nevertheless from
I don't think I could do that at my age. I think I'd pull a hamstring now, don't know if I did that.
Here is Udogie, the left back for Tottenham. To Son, coming in off that left touch line now. Bissouma trotting to offer some support. Emerson makes a run into the centre of the field. Now Sanchez the substitute. Back then with Kulusevski. Falls quiet inside the community stadium here at Brentford. Bissouma to Skip. Back out to the right-hand side for Kulusevski. Brentford again have got everybody back behind the ball. So Spurs are going to have to be patient here. Little touch from Van de Ven. Basuma links up with Maddison. Now sees an area of space and threads the ball through towards Richarlison. He was running with the ball with Basuma, then passed that right-footed ball, but it was gathered in by the goalkeeper. But Richarlison was making the move. If it's true that Postecoglou always knew that Harry Kane was going to move on, the new Spurs manager, as far as processing it all, it won't have come as a shock to many now that the saga's finally come to an end.
Yeah, maybe.
In terms of the way he knows how he wants this Spurs side to play. Here is Rico Henry. There was a low cross into the penalty area, and Mbeumo was there, just couldn't get a clean strike of it.
Yeah, it's good defending from Ndogi, really good defending. And Brentford have upped it now. I think Tottenham will be playing on the counter-attack.
And Kulusevski coming forward. Rico Henry trying to get back at him. He's back goal side, helped out as well by Pinnock, and Kulusevski didn't keep the ball in play. It's starting to become a good contest, this, between these two sides.
Yeah, it is. Brentford started off well, and then Tottenham got that goal, and then now Brentford have come alive, and they need it because they have to give these fans something to cheer about. As you said, it's a hard place to come in and get results, Dano.
It certainly is. They've only lost one of their last 15 home games in the Premier League. That was Newcastle United, who had that excellent result yesterday against Aston Villa. But they've won 8 and they've drawn 6 of those 15. Hickey trying to get forward on that right-hand side. He thinks he's got a corner kick. And Udogie thought it was a goal kick, but the assistant referee on that far side has gone with the Brentford defender. It will be a Brentford corner kick. And since they've fallen behind, they're starting to take the game to Tottenham Hotspur as the home side trail.
Yeah, and I think the linesman got that spot on watching the replay. Udogie did touch it last.
And Mbeumo far side the right to take it. They've got 4 in the penalty area. They've rolled it short on the right-hand side. Henry plays it into that penalty area. Norgard, he put an outstretched left foot and it took the ball up rather than towards goal. And in the end, that allowed Vicario in his ultra blue goalkeeping outfit to make the save.
Yeah, it's a bad touch from Norgard. You're spot on, Deno. It was a really bad touch because Mickey van der Ven misses it. It's a good ball from Henry and it's a great opportunity. If he has a better touch, he gets a shot. But good goalkeeping from Vicario.
Here is Skip to Kulusevski for Tottenham, leading by a goal to 0. And 4:30 will be at Stamford Bridge. Mass Upson joining John Murray. Chelsea against Liverpool for our second commentary as part of 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. Here is Sanchez. Basuma now in the centre circle. Janelt just backs off him, allows Basuma to pick a pass into the air out towards Son on the far side, that Hickey turns and heads the ball out of play. Midway through the Brentford half, it's going to be a Tottenham throw, to which Destiny Udogie will take that throw, and he finds Maddison. Maddison to Richarlison, back to Basuma, forward towards Son. The Tottenham captain now to Udogie. Challenge comes in from Collins, and it was a firm one. Prods it away. Jensen turns inside, and they beat the press. Eventually, runs in field to Wissa. Norgard, good ball, opens it up, and all of a sudden, Ayers away. And he's got Henry with him, some support on this near side the left, and he's over the halfway line. Indeed, he's already midway through the Tottenham half. Henry spreads the play out towards Mbeumo. Good spell this for Brentford. Ball inside early towards Jensen. Penalty.
Oh, that could be. He's not good. Surely.
Jensen, he was about to turn and cross, and I think he was clipped by Son, and he goes to ground. If he's beaten the man,
why would you go to ground?
Why would Elche go to ground?
Yeah, you're spot on, because he's coming in on his left foot, so VAR will be looking at that.
VAR will be having a look. Tony Harrington is going to be called into action once again. VAR did confirm the goal for Romero's header from close range. Jensen is now... He looks quite relaxed. Thomas Frank in the technical area.
Yeah, well, he's looking at the 4th official now, thinking, are we going to stop this game?
Of course,
here is... he hasn't stopped it. Yeah, he's saying they're talking to him, they're looking at it in his ear.
Kulusevski to Emerson. Emerson right-hand side with a cross. Hickey onto the chest, gets it away towards Jensen. And now Jensen deliberately hammers the ball out of play so that VAR can now intervene with this stoppage.
Yeah, that's what he's done. Yeah.
Jensen knew. I think he did it part in anger, but he got the first opportunity, and it was like a rugby union player finding touch, and he went, right, here we go. Now all of a sudden, let's bring VAR and have a look.
Hold on. Yeah.
It was definitely Son.
Oh, he catches him a little bit, don't he? But Jensen is looking for it. He catches him a tiny bit, and he's going to have a look. And you know what happens if he goes and has a look?
Well, Tony Harrington, the VAR, has clearly instructed Robert Jones, the referee, to come across to the monitor. And as Clinton says, this normally means only one thing.
If you can see it there, Jensen turns him, and Son is just his trailing leg just catches. His right leg catches it, but I don't think he can lift it though. Deno, I don't think he can lift his foot up there, Son. But there is slight contact.
Well, Jensen knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he played it
by
really well.
Initiating the VAR as soon as he kicked the ball out of play. And the thing is now, if this doesn't stand, would you say it's a clear and obvious error?
He's giving it.
It is going to be a penalty.
Yeah, he is giving it. There is the slightest of contact. I think it's harsh, but there is contact there.
Did you see the Brighton one yesterday? The João Pedro penalty with Lockyer.
Yeah, that was harsh. Did you think it was a penalty?
No, I thought that was a soft penalty.
That wasn't a penalty in my eyes. No chance. I agree with you on that. So there's something we do agree with eventually.
But on this occasion, you see, that wasn't overruled as all penalties are checked, because they clearly didn't feel that one at Brighton yesterday was a clear and obvious error. Whereas Tony Harrington has said to Robert Jones, well, this is an error. Now, Robert Jones is telling the Tottenham players to go away. If he's not careful, or they're not careful, he's going to have to show them a yellow card, because there was going to be more than two players. So Robert Jones is coming under pressure. Son, as the Spurs captain, is having a word. The decision, though, has been given. You'll be able to judge for it yourself tonight. Match the Day 2, 10:30 tonight with Mark Chapman and guests. Richarlison now has a word. Vicario has spoken out of turn, and the Spurs goalkeeper is booked.
He needs to be careful, because you waste time when they're winning the game or drawing the game. They could get another one.
They're testing the patience of the official. Maddison and Kulusevski have both said things as well to the match official. Now it's an Mbeumo. He's scored all three penalties for Brentford. Of course, Ivan Toney normally would be in this position, and he's got a good record. But Mbeumo has a 100% record from the spot for Brentford, and it's maintained. 4 out of 4. Left-footed penalty, sends the keeper the wrong way, finds the bottom left-hand corner, and after that VAR decision, Bryan Mbeumo brings Brentford level at 1-1.
Yeah, it's a great penalty. He never looked like he was going to miss. He slows it down, and he just sends Vicario the wrong way. And they're not happy. Tottenham's bench are not happy. They're arguing with the fourth official. I do actually think it is a harsh penalty. I do think it's a harsh penalty. I don't think nowhere Son can put his foot up there. But you know what? It's clever from Jensen. So, because that's where the contact. He initiates the contact. And once you get contact, it is given.
But if we're being fair to ourselves, at the time, we both said penalty.
Yeah, the way he went down.
To the naked eye.
Yeah, we did, because we thought he's in there on his left foot. Why would he go down? So maybe there was enough contact.
Hold on, there's another yellow card being shown here.
Yeah, I told you they were arguing on this touchline. I did tell you.
So Robert Jones is now walking across. They did say they're going to have a no-nonsense approach. They want to improve the behaviour on the field as well as off the field as well. And it's one of the backroom staff of both Brentford and Tottenham. Is that Ryan Mason?
Yeah,
it is. So there's a handshake as well. So one of the assistants at Brentford and Ryan Mason have been shown yellow cards as well from Robert Jones. Howard Webb has said, they're going to go direct from the kick-off to try and catch out Flecken, but it's going to be a goal kick. I've noticed Maddison, he's been named as vice-captain. He's extremely vocal.
And he's pumped up. You can see he's made it as he's one of the vice-captains with Romero, and you're right, he is pumped up and he's vocal and he's talking. So listen, you always have 11 captains on the pitch, but yeah, he's definitely leading by example so far.
And it was interesting what his message was, because they got a goal kick straight away from the kickoff, and they all of a sudden had 4 players across the penalty area to prevent Brentford from passing the ball out. Maddison is switched on. 28 minutes played. BBC Radio 5 Live. A few talking points already then, Clinton.
Yeah, always is.
Here is Basuma. It was a draw when these two sides met on Boxing Day, 2-2. Currently level at 1-1. Here is Son. Maddison just in from the touchline on that far side. Spurs in their like a charcoal grey away outfit, playing from left to right. I'm sure there'll be a more fancy title for the particular colour, but I'm going to keep it simple. Here is Emerson. Basuma, triangular passing patterns again. Brentford have got everybody back behind the ball. Skip tries to go down the line to Kulusevski. It's touched out of play by Rico Henry. Emerson wants to take it quickly, and Whistle wins a throw for Brentford. A reminder that both of the semi-finals in the Women's World Cup are live on 5 Live Tuesday, Wednesday. Spain, Sweden on 5 Live at 9 o'clock. England, Australia is a little bit later on Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock. And then also on that day, we'll be live in Athens, from Australia to Athens. And the UEFA Super Cup, Sevilla against Manchester City. So more live football to look forward to. Half an hour played at the Community Stadium here in West London, this ground that holds just over 17,000, shoehorned in next to Kew Bridge railway station, just off the M4 west of the capital. Sanchez looking for Kulusevski over the top. Kulusevski now involved in the chase for the ball with Henry. Rico Henry, who holds him up. Kulusevski goes in field. Emerson passes the ball now to Udogie. Udogie to Maddison, sends in a ball into the penalty area over the head of Richarlison. Richarlison can't get into the game at the moment.
And you know who can't get to the game? Richarlison and Son. Son's been really quiet on that left-hand side as well. They can't get him. Maddison's the one getting into pockets, and I'll tell you who else it started well for them. Basuma ticking it over in that Højbjerg role, because obviously he's on the bench and there might be rumours of him leaving, but I think Basuma could have a big season for Tottenham. Yeah,
there's talk of Højbjerg going to Atletico, whereas Basuma, who's come back into the side, he missed 3 months last season with after ankle surgery, signed from Brighton, but he's been heavily involved, as Clinton Morrison quite rightly said. Wissa released early into the penalty area. Wissa closed down ever so well by Sanchez. Defending. And the last touch came off Wissa, and it will be a goal kick that Vicario takes very, very quickly. That was a good recovery.
He gets a lot of criticism last season from the Tottenham fans, but it's brilliant. He's got brilliant recovery pace, Sanchez. And because you think Wissa's in, it was a great tackle. Emerson Rowe made a big mistake, too casual on the ball, and they break Brentford. But great defending from Sanchez. That's
the voice of Clinton Morrison, who once had the briefest of loan spells here at Brentford about 11 years ago, didn't
with
you?
Uwe Rosler, it was okay. It wasn't memorable, but it was okay. But it was nice. It's a nice football club, though.
It is a
really nice football club. Nice people.
Yeah, always give us a lovely welcome here at Brentford in this tidy new stadium. It's less than a mile away from the old Griffin Park. As Sanchez, Emerson, Norgard just tells him to get up. Emerson went to ground far too easily. Ball from Sanchez given away, but he tries to redeem it by winning it back, and then he pushes into the back of Rico Henry, and that challenge on Janelt does indeed produce a free kick for Brentford, and then Robert Jones will just have a friendly talking to the Colombian international. 14 minutes to go to half time.
I just looked. Eric Dyer. And I was thinking he must be injured then, Eric Dyer, because he would have slotted into this centre back row.
Ball played forward by Vicario. Here is Jensen, quickly challenged by Basuma, certainly making his presence felt. Jensen tried to wrestle him to the floor. The strength of Basuma, he just shrugged off that challenge, but then his ball was a little too casual for Kulusevski. It was no chance of Kulusevski getting that. It was about 10 yards behind Dejan Kulusevski, the Swedish international, who after an 18-month loan has now made that a permanent switch from Juventus. 5-year deal, £25 million, 1-1. Here is Wissa. Van der Ven gets a foot into the challenge. Kulusevski now holds off Ayer, who bounced off Kulusevski. Emerson now passes the ball to Mickey Van der Ven. Now with Destiny Udogie, left of the centre circle, in field for Tottenham for Basuma. Towards Skip early, along the ground, towards Kulusevski, 12 minutes to go to half-time. We're expecting a lot of additional time from the fourth official. Maddison looking to try and get Son in round the back. Hickey, though, stopped the attack. Collins has moved in each of the last 3 summers now, Nathan. Wow. Collins.
It's ridiculous, that is.
Record signing for Brentford, £23 million from Wolves.
And then before that was at Burnley.
Yeah. Vicario came out of his penalty area and then hurriedly got rid of the ball and then concedes a throw on that far side. Earlier in the Scottish Premiership, Celtic went away at Pittodrie, winning by 3-1, and Postecoglou's former side, Hearts, Kilmarnock, Motherwell, Hibs are both underway at 3. We'll keep you in touch with any goals of those games now that they're underway. As it's going to be a free kick to Tottenham. Kulusevski fouled by a former Celtic player in Christopher Ayer. Just settling down a little bit more, wasn't it, after that frantic period. Here is Son. Maddison makes the run out towards that left-hand side. Maddison twisting and turning in front of Collins. Left corner of the penalty area. Spurs playing from left to right as we look. Every outfield player is in the Brentford half away towards our right. Sanchez just outside the centre circle, along the ground towards Kulusevski. Kulusevski being tracked by Rico Henry, passes the ball to Richarlison, nice layoff. Emerson into the penalty area, Son in the central area, shot was blocked, good covering by Hickey. Struck the knees of the Scottish international defender, and Norgard now takes over. Norgard being back for Brentford is very, very important as well. His last appearance was in April with an Achilles problem. Sanchez is now going to get a yellow card for just catching Wissa.
I think that's harsh. I think he's trying to play the ball there. That is a harsh yellow card. And now Maddison's been booked as well for arguing with the referee. So Maddison's just got into the ball. I understand these referees taking this opinion of not one, but you can't ruin the game. You still, as a player, should be able to speak to a referee.
Well, Maddison and Kulusevski both had a nibble at the referee with the penalty award for Brentford, and I thought with the new directives of the match officials, everybody knows the score. If you're going to go complain, if you're going to pressurise the referee and you're going to speak out of turn, it's going to be clamped down on by the match officials. And therefore, when Maddison then does speak out of turn, the yellow card without any hesitation. Brentford, Wissa strikes it. Brentford lead by 2-1. Might well have taken a deflection off Nicky van der Ven, but Wissa will claim it, and Brentford have come from behind, and Brentford now lead by Tottenham Hotspur by 2-1.
Same old problems for Tottenham defensively. Lose Romero, not good enough. Emerson Rowe, not good enough. Brilliant play from Rico Henry down that left-hand side, cuts it back to Wissa, and Mickey van der Ven, he stops it from going through to Vicario. He's got a comfortable save, but he's just sliding, and it deflects over him into the bottom corner. It's what Brentford deserve, but same problems for Tottenham. Emerson Rowe, not good enough defending.
Well, it was a ball out towards the left-hand side, pulled back, and that telling touch from van der Ven, because Wissa hit it right-footed. The keeper probably would have saved it until van der Ven, on his debut, the unfortunate Mickey van der Ven, the Dutch under-21 international, giving away. Well, will it go down as an own goal or Wissa? Probably on target. Wissa might be credited with it, but anyway, Brentford lead by 2-1, and they've turned it around. And to credit Brentford, since falling behind to that goal from Romero, they have responded very well.
Spot on, Deno. They've been good. They've been really, really good since conceding that goal to Romero. You're spot on.
So, thought we'd get goals today. Might even get a sending off, the way that the yellow cards are being tallied up as well. But Spurs now trail. That Romero goal that gave them the lead has been wiped out, and Brentford have edged ahead. Here is Skip. Telling though, isn't it, that at every opportunity they do put defenders under pressure by getting the ball into the box as early as they can.
They do, and their wing-backs are good at it, in particular Rico Henry down this left-hand side.
Son, far side. It's been subdued, the new Spurs captain in this first half so far. Here is Kulusevski. Kulusevski running back towards the halfway line, slides it towards Sanchez. Now with Van der Ven. Udogie on the halfway line. Udogie waits, closed down by Mbumo.
Look at this then, though. Everything's in front of Brentford, though. You have to, as a striker, stretch the pitch, and then that will enable space if you want to play like that. So comfortable for Brentford at the moment.
Yeah. Thing is, as well, they talk about Ivan Toney's not going to be back. Ironically, I think the first game he could return is actually against Tottenham when he's able to play, I think, from January the 17th. But 5 Premier League games without Toney last season, unbeaten in 5. They won 4 and drawn 1. They are such a difficult side to play against.
No, they are. They're hard. They're hard to play against, in particularly at home. But that's what I say. Thomas Frank, the job he's done, it's fantastic. He's brilliant. He's one of the. That's why when you talk about big jobs coming available, I'm so surprised sometimes he's not linked to them kind of job.
I mean, the thing is that he was, I think, linked a couple of times with the Tottenham vacancy.
Job. Yeah. I remember that, and I was thinking, would he get that job? Obviously, Tottenham's a big football club, but he's done a brilliant job at Brentford.
Well, last season he improved them by an extra 13 points. They finished 9th. They just missed out on European qualification by 2 points. It was Brentford's best league finish for 85 years. And this, remember, is only their 8th season in the top flight in their history, their 3rd consecutive season in the Premier League. And they're leading by 2-1 with 5 minutes to go to half-time. Udogie, strong run for Spurs, out towards Son, far side the left, delivers a pacey early cross.
It's a great ball.
Gathered in by Flecken.
He's throwing his hands in the air, Son. Charlie, you have to get across the near post. It's a great ball from Son. It was a good play from Udogie, and it's a good ball from Son, but Richarlison has to get across the near post.
Here is Henry. There's a little tug back there by Kulusevski. And because of the pressure of Spurs, Brentford have given the ball away. Janelt apologises. It'll be a throw. Emerson takes. Basuma able to turn. Unmarked midway through the Brentford half. Udogie joins the attack, rolls it out to the left-hand side. 10 yards in from the touchline is Son. Maddison is just behind him. Maddison now will send over a pacey cross, cleared by Pinnock first time towards Mbumo, who turns away from Emerson. He's got Wissa with support, tries to release Wissa. But nobody will beat the pace of Van der Ven. But Vigario again comes out of his penalty area, passes the ball forward. Basuma now finds Maddison. Maddison drops into the centre circle towards Kulusevski. Just pops up a little bit for Kulusevski off his first touch of his right boot. Runs in field though. Spurs now trail by 2-1, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. If you want coverage of the 100 today in the cricket, you BBC Sport website for that. Birmingham Phoenix against the Oval Invincibles at Edgbaston. Northern Superchargers against the Manchester Originals. Both of those games live on the BBC Sport website for more details. After this game, we're going to Stamford Bridge for 4:30. Chelsea against Liverpool. 2-1 it is though to Brentford in this London derby. As Wissa passes the ball, tried to pass it back towards Mbumo. The interception from Kulusevski though for Spurs. Now it's with Van der Ven. Feeds it forward. 3.5 minutes to go to the break. Well, before additional time. We'll find out how much additional time there will be. At a walking pace now at Tottenham. But again, Brentford, every man. That's about the 3rd or 4th time I've said that. Yep. Back behind the ball. As Richarlison picks it up and tries to go the long way round. On that far side, the left. Comes back towards Son. 10 yards up from the byline. Maddison, 25 yards out from goal. In field, Basuma at a walking pace, shifts it onto his right boot, takes a deflection, spins, and kept in play by Flecken, the keeper.
Yeah, the problem is when they win the ball back from Brentford, the build-up plays too slow, so it enables Brentford enough time to get back into their shape. They have to move the ball quicker, 1 and 2 touch, but their bench is strong, Tottenham, so if they did want to make changes, it is a very strong bench. Lo Celso, I'd like to see someone like that come on, then I think he's a good player.
Yeah, Giovanni Lo Celso. His last appearance for Tottenham was January 22 against Leicester City. His last 18 months he's been out on loan at Villarreal, but the Argentine international, if they're looking for a little bit of creativity, at times he's taken time to adapt to the rigours of the Premier League. Here is Son. Silence once again inside this community stadium as Spurs look to attack through Son on the left-hand side. He goes on the outside of Hickey. Header away by Aya. Good strong header too from the former Celtic defender. Nodded down by Udogie. Basuma again looks to shoot. Good block coming in from Wissa. And then Basuma prevented Wissa from running forward by putting his hands on his shoulders. He drops to his knees, and it will be a free kick to Brentford, who lead 2-1 late on in this first half.
Yeah, he's done all right in there so far, Basuma, but he's just got to keep moving the ball 1 and 2 touches. He's having too many touches and getting dispossessed, because you got to give credit to Brentford. The 2 strikers, Wissa and Mbeumo, they get back in their shape and putting pressure on the deep and holding midfielder, and that is Basuma.
I don't know about sanitation issues. They've got issues with the Wi-Fi. I was just looking for the computer to see if there'd been any score at Fir Park or Tynecastle, and I've got that whirring motion. So I hope the sanitation issues are resolved at half-time as well, because there's going to be an influx of supporters heading to the toilets as Brentford lead 2-1. And that's going to be a yellow card to Skip, just for a pullback on Jensen.
You know, you watch Tottenham, they lack legs in midfield, Deno. Lack legs in midfield, very much so. Yeah, Jensen plays a quick 1-2, and then he just broke it into the back 4. They do lack some legs in midfield.
So that's the 4th yellow card for Tottenham Hotspur. Ryan Mason, of course, was booked as well. So the club have had 5 yellow cards in this first half. One of the Brentford coaching staff. So we've had 6 yellows issued by Klaus Norgard, was the member of the backroom staff who was shown yellow by Robert Jones. Been an eventful first half. We're about to find out how much added on time there will be shown by Jared Gillett, the 4th official. Jensen chips this free kick in, flicked on by Collins, headed out by Emerson. Ball then from Kulusevski towards Udogie, coming forward. Now it's to Kulusevski. Son takes over from Kulusevski on this right-hand side. 11 minutes of added on time.
There was a big stoppage, weren't there?
Yeah. Well, we've had 2 stoppages. We've had the VARs. We've had the goal celebrations. We've had a substitution. It's all exact time now. No more estimates in that respect. But 11 minutes. Here is Kulusevski. Howard Webb does believe that eventually it will settle down. On average, last season, the additional time was 8 minutes. They're estimating that when things do settle down, that the average additional time will be nearer to 11 minutes for this campaign, but we've got that in its entirety for the additional time in this first half.
Yeah, it is a lot, and managers are complaining about it, but I think it's good for the fans. I do think it's good for the fans, but I can understand why the players are moaning about it. It's a lot of time added on.
Kulusevski to Emerson. And bearing in mind that we had a slight delay to the kickoff as well, so we didn't get underway till about 5 past 2 because of the sanitation issues. So it's going to be a later finish than scheduled. Definitely here in Brentford, where they still lead by 2-1 in added on time. But you're right, it's all to enhance the spectator experience for improving in-ball playing time. The average in League 2 last season, I think, was 48 minutes. For the Premier League, I think I'm right in saying it was 54. So it's going to take time.
It will take time, you're right.
Here is Udogie to Son. Also means we're going to have to talk longer as well, Clinton.
Well, that's not a problem for me and you.
Well, I was just thinking for you.
Yeah.
here is Sanchez joining the attack to Emerson. Referee jumps and skips out of the way of the ball as play continues towards Son. Sustained spell this from Tottenham. Out to the left-hand side. Udogie's low cross was blocked by Collins. Just can't find a way through.
No, they can't, because they got a good shape, and Tottenham are moving. Everything's in front of Brentford. Brentford have a good shape, but you have to get wider. Kulusevski has to hug this touchline.
The thing is that the goal for Tottenham came from a set piece.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to think in open play what they've actually created, Tottenham, in this first half.
No, they haven't created much, you're right.
Here is Sanchez. Udogie goes out towards Son, left corner of the area, rolls it in short. Ball turned round by Basuma. Sanchez gives it towards Maddison. Maddison looks towards Richarlison, headed away by Pinnock, comes towards Son. And just on the edge of the 6-yard box on the far side, he hits it first time, a left-footed volley, and it fizzes wide and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's good. That was patient build-up play, but eventually, as you just said, if you get the ball into the box, it can cause problems. Pinnock gets a touch, and you're thinking with Son's technique, could he hit the target? But it goes wide. But it's better football from Tottenham.
But if you're to contrast the two playing styles so far, you've got Spurs who are being at times patient, keeping the ball and trying to create the openings. Brentford at every opportunity, ball in the box.
Yeah, because it suits them. And they've got strikers who want to get in the box and score goals in Vissa and Buemo. And they got wing-backs who get forward and hug the touchline. Tottenham's full-backs are playing in that inverted midfielder, so there's not enough width.
Former Irish international Clinton Morrison here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Basuma's early ball, Son crowded out very, very quickly, but it's going to break towards Emerson. Emerson thought about the shot. Instead, he passes the ball out wide right to Kulusevski. A little bit further than maybe the Swedish international intended, but he does keep the ball in play. Tottenham are still threatening, trailing 2-1. Emerson tries to make a run into the penalty area. Slice clearance by Ayer, big up and under. Helped further away by Jensen. Udogi turns it towards Maddison. Maddison closed down by Jensen, and then he was fouled. Jensen, shot comes in. Oh, good goal.
Good goal.
Emerson hit it first time. Whilst Maddison was appealing for a free kick, the referee played the advantage, and in fact Maddison now acknowledges that and shakes the hand of the referee because it just came towards Emerson, hit it first time, finds the bottom left-hand corner, and Spurs are level in injury time 2-2.
Yeah, it's a good game and it's a good finisher from Emerson Rowe. He's been better going forward than he has defending, Deno. I do actually think he's comfortable in possession, but you're right, it was good play, patient build-up play, ball come to Maddison. It's a good finishing from Emerson Rowe when it comes to him. But credit the referee. He did play advantage. He could have blew up, but it's a good finish right into that bottom corner. Game on.
Because I think it probably would have been a free kick.
Yeah, it's a good finish.
But
it would have been a free kick. You're right.
It was an excellent finish by Emerson. Scored 2 goals last season. But it was, again, as you said earlier on, Clinton, you know, he's going into this inverted role, the central areas at times. And he just hit it first time, didn't he, from the edge of the area?
Yeah, he did. As I said, he's always, you look at him, he's better going forward than he is as a defender anyway. He loves going forward, and you're right. That inverted role he's playing in midfield, it does put pressure on Davison Sanchez and Mickey van der Veen to defend properly. But so far, so good for Tottenham. It's a good goal just before half-time.
But if you're quick to criticise referees, then equally you've got to be quick to praise.
Definitely.
And that was excellent refereeing from Robert Jones. Rico Henry, meanwhile, is away. Brentford comes out towards Jensen. Jensen feeds it now towards Mbumo, right-hand side of the penalty area. More goals in this game. Sends over a cross. Rico Henry is there, and then the effort from Janelt. There could be another stoppage here because Rico Henry and Skip, no, they're okay. They're being back to the feet. I just feared another clash of heads. It was Janelt with the left-footed volley over the top, goal kick.
You know what? It's brilliant from Rico Henry again. This is what I say about Emerson. Emerson's here and Skip to close him. Kulusevski. He goes past Emerson's like he's not there. So this is what I'm saying. He's not a good defender, Emerson, but he's comfortable in possession. In one-on-one situations, he struggles massively.
Well, Rico Henry, even I think last season, was on the radar of Gareth Southgate and Steve Holland and for the England national team. As Richarlison to Kulusevski. Kulusevski right corner of the area. Henry's tracked the run of Skip. Ayer goes to ground. Kulusevski on the outside of him. The cut back, takes a deflection, loops over the head. Richarlison will try and retrieve it on that far side. 2-2 now here at the Community Stadium. And Richarlison trying to pen Norgard in on that far side. Ball then played away. Here is Jensen. And then Hickey touches the ball. Collins to Norgard, trying to beat the press. And they've done it ever so well. That'll be a foul. Basuma on Jensen.
It's good football, that. Very good football. It's brave football as well. Brentford can mix it. They can go long and they also can play out from the back.
Here is Janelt. Back now with Pinnock. A little touch there from Ayer. 11 minutes of additional time. And of course, which is also something that has changed this season, it's in the Football League and also in the Premier League, is that normally if you're inside a stadium, the clock would stop at 45. And it'd be such a frustrating experience. But now, of course, the stadium clocks tick on. So I can tell you that we're into the 7th minute of the additional 11 in this first half. Here is Jensen. Sprays the ball out towards Rico Henry. Emerson, though, will get there first in this topsy-turvy game and then just lets it run out of play for a goal kick at 2-2.
Good game, though. Good game. Very good game, first half. I had a prediction. I'm not telling you to the end of the game, but it's getting very close, my prediction.
3-3.
I ain't telling you to the end of the game. Wait.
Well, it clearly wasn't 1-0, 1-1,
No
2-1 or 2-2.
No, it wasn't. But I did say there'd be a lot of goals in the game.
But you anticipated goals when you arrived.
I did.
When you eventually arrived.
I knew that was coming.
Clinton Morrison with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Thomas Frank turning around into that technical area. We're quite low down here in the main stand. We're just right at the halfway line as Aaron Hickey passes the ball back to Mark Flecken. Kept the most clean sheets in the Bundesliga last season, did the Dutch international, as Freiburg finished 5th. As Maddison's got to be careful.
Yeah, he has. He just give a free kick away, but it's not giving a free kick away, it's holding on to the ball. I
think that low 5, acknowledging Robert Jones, probably just
saves him.
Work wonders. You say, well done, ref, for that.
Well done, referee.
Get him back in the referee's good books.
Exactly.
You'll have done that during your time, wouldn't you? To try to work your way into the...
All the time, Deno. You should know me by now.
Little word in the ear of the referee, trying to sweet talk them.
Definitely. You don't want to get booked.
You know, Clinton Morrison, sort of like that bit of cheeky style. Henry released on the left-hand side. Henry scampering forward, crosses. Oh, what a chance that was, and Mbeumo couldn't take it. On the half volley on the far side. Again, the direct approach from Brentford. Great running from Rico Henry on the left-hand side. Lovely delivery. And Mbeumo, far post. What was he, 6 yards out on the half volley, right-footed, couldn't keep it down.
He's been the best player on the pitch in the first half, Rico Henry. He's been a threat. He's caused Emerson loads of problems down this right-hand side, down Brentford's left. He's been outstanding.
Just to ask you a question in a minute about that Mbeumo chance, only because I was listening to John Murray and Pat Nevin on my way back from Brighton yesterday, and I heard them talking about the Matty Cash chance that he missed for Aston Villa. And he was running at pace, said Pat Nevin, and because of that, when it's come to him so quickly,
because you don't have time to
it's actually a harder
one. That one he can see it right onto him. He probably thinks the defender maybe he's going to get his body shape's not right and he's leaning back, and that's why it goes over. When it's whipped to him with so much pace there, really and truly you want it to just hit you and then it can go in, but he's obviously tried to put power on it and it's gone over the bar.
The Mbeumo one now?
Yeah, the Mbeumo one now, yeah.
Clinton Morrison giving us an appreciation of that pressure when you've got to try and get on the end of a cross from the left-hand side.
Listen, I've done it many a times, Deno, and it's still, ball's probably still travelling now.
You didn't score, though, here in the few appearances that you made for Brentford,
No, I
didn't.
I didn't.
You left the goals elsewhere.
I left them elsewhere.
Here is Maddison, looking for Tottenham at 2-2, edge of the area. Maddison sends over a cross. Emerson brings it under control, right corner of the area, swings over the ball now. Pinnock rises in the air, heads it away, helped further away by Mbeumo. And there is the 11 minutes of additional time coming to a conclusion. Well, what an eventful first half that has been. An eventful 56 minutes, 2-2.
Yeah, it's been good, to be fair. It took a bit of time to get going, but eventually we got going. It's a good game. Both teams going for it. Tottenham's new team under Ange Postecoglou looks good. They're trying to play out from the back, and Brentford do what they do. They've been a threat going forward, and I think Rico Henry on this left-hand side has been outstanding.
And, well, it's been an eventful game. Romero with a close-range header, but due to a clash of heads earlier with concussion, he had to leave the field, much that he didn't want to. Mbeumo and Wissa then got Brentford back in front by leading by 2-1, and then Emerson in additional time making it 2-2. Maddison is still having a word, Steve, as he works with Robert Jones. And for an update on the sanitation issues, the toilets and catering facilities are out of order for the first half. So I hope that Clinton, after his late arrival, went to the loo before he joined us here on 5 Live Sport. Otherwise, he could be facing an agonising second half.
Your clean sheet pun, Ian, was some of your best work. I'll say that now. Your puns, the level of them can be mixed, but that was top work. I could even hear as you said it, you were sort of thinking to yourself, am I really going to do toilet humour? And then you went all in.
Yeah, well, I was mindful of the time of day and thinking, if you're listening, people might be heading out for a Sunday roast and thinking, do I need to do it? And then I committed myself. And as you know, sometimes in this, you've got to you can You can speak before you think. But I'm glad that you approved.
No, I know all about that. That was
I
great.
feel flush with success.
That was great, Clinton, and so was your insight about running at pace. Never thought I'd hear that.
Running at pace, me and pace don't go together at this. But when I was younger, I could run at pace, Crossy. But no, it's a good first half, to be fair. Really good first half, end to end, lots of chances, and the goals ain't finished in this game, that's for sure.
You two can give your pipes a rest then, Clinton Morrison and Ian Dennis at Brentford. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2. Great first half. Of course, we'll bring you second half commentary on Premier League Sunday. Chelsea-Liverpool to come at 4:30. Celtic beat Aberdeen earlier today in Scotland by 3-1. We've got more to come on the 100 and the Women's Open over at Walton Heath as well. But we'll get the news now on 5 Live with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Steve, thank you. Good afternoon. 9 people have been injured in Pembrokeshire, 2 of them seriously after a car left the road and crashed onto a campsite. It happened around 10:30 last night at Newgale. One of the injured people was flown by helicopter to hospital in Cardiff. 93 people are now known to have died in the wildfires on the Hawaiian island of Maui. The state's Governor Josh Green has repeated his warning that the numbers are likely to rise significantly. President Biden has declared the fires a major disaster and says the federal government has sent assistance and resources. This resident says supplies aren't reaching those who are most in need.
They're traumatized. They're upset. No one's giving hugs. Do you hear people in the same pads since the fire on Thursday? Kids in the same diapers since Thursday? People without food.
The Home Office says more than 500 people in small boats crossed the Channel yesterday, bringing the total who've made the journey so far this year to 16,700. 6 migrants died when their boat sank off the French coast yesterday morning, leading to more calls for the government to take more action to tackle the crossings. The Conservative MP David T.C. Davies is the Secretary of State for Wales.
The actual numbers coming from France into the United Kingdom have gone down. There's a lot of work that's been undertaken to achieve that. We're working very closely with the French government now to stop boats being launched. Obviously, we haven't stopped them all. It's going to continue to be a problem, but we have stopped a lot. But it is a really difficult problem to completely solve.
Pupils waiting for their A-level results this week have been told grades will be lower than last year. The Education Secretary Gillian Keegan's told the Sunday Times that exam marking is back to normal after the pandemic, so results will be similar to 2019. And pubs in England and Wales will be able to continue selling takeaway drinks after the government decided to keep licensing rules that were brought in during the pandemic. The rules were due to expire at the end of September.
He's a rule breaker, a trendsetter. He reshaped art and redefined graffiti.
How does he smell?
Like paint.
Has he got any distinguishing features?
His anonymity. But who is he?
What's his name?
Banksy.
Apparently I've met him twice.
The Banksy story. Banksy's work is always about the human spirit versus the establishment. Listen first on BBC Sounds.
More live Premier League football than anyone else.
5 Live's Premier League Sunday
with Steve Crossman.
Welcome back. Coming up, second half commentary from the G-Tech Community Stadium, where it's Brentford 2, Tottenham 2 in the Premier League, and we'll be at Stamford Bridge shortly to have our first look ahead to Chelsea versus Liverpool. We're bringing that to you in full at 4:30. There's lots of other live sport happening. Let's get the latest from the 100 first of all at Headingley. In the women's competition, the Northern Superchargers beat Manchester Originals by 4 runs. Nikesh Regani has the latest on the men.
Yes, and it's the Manchester Originals men batting first here after winning the toss against the Northern Superchargers, and at the moment it's Laurie Evans on the charge. Reece Topley came in and took a couple of early wickets in a devastating spell in which he removed Phil Salt and Joss Butler, but Laurie Evans has moved on to 30 from just 14 balls, including 3 sixes and 2 fours. Paul Walter with him at the other end. This partnership looking ominous for the Superchargers as the Originals move on to 49 for 2 from 29 deliveries. And as you say, earlier on it was the Northern Superchargers winning by 4 runs. The Originals set a revised target of 113 to win from 80 balls after a little bit of rain earlier on in the afternoon, and it was a thrilling run chase. They looked like they were going to get there right up until the end when the Superchargers managed to close things out. So the women winning here, the home side, and the men under the pump here with the ball. The Manchester Originals now moving on to 53 for 2 after 30 balls.
We're also at Edgbaston today. Birmingham Phoenix, who are winless in the women's competition, face the Oval Invincibles. They also need a win to boost their hopes of making the eliminators, Adam Mountford.
Yes, the two-time champions Oval Invincibles, where they really could do with a victory today after that poor start to this campaign against the bottom of the table. Phoenix, well, the Invincibles haven't been put into bat, are 72. In fact, there's another 6 there. 78 now after 60 balls. The Invincibles are without their captain, Dani van Niekerk, who today's been ruled out of the rest of the tournament with a thumb injury. New Zealand's Susie Bates takes over as captain. She was stumped off the bowling of off-spinner Katie Levick, not really getting going, opening the batting 9 from 14. And then Levick had the young England star Alice Capsey out. First ball caught behind, but Lauren Winfield Hill dropped on 10. She's going well. She's on 35 from 26, and Marizanne Kapp, the South African star, is on 29 from 20. The Invincibles 78 off 60 balls, Steve.
Thank you very much, Adam. The leaders have started their final rounds in Golf's Women's Open at Walton Heath, and England's Charlie Hull is among them. Cat Downs.
She is. Charlie Hull and Lilia Vu started the day at 9 under par in a share of the lead, but there's been a change at the top of the leaderboard, and it's not good news for the thousands of England fans who've come out to watch Charlie Hull to see if she can land her maiden major title here at Walton Heath. First came a birdie for Lilia Vu at the second, so she took the outright lead on 10 under par, and then a drop shot for Hull on the third. She found trouble to the right of the green and had to settle for a bogey there. So Lilia Vu, the American who won her first major championship at the Chevron in April, she leads by 2. Hull down into a tie for second with Hyo Joo Kim of Korea for now. Ali Ewing, the player whose 5-shot lead was swallowed up and overtaken yesterday, she bogeyed the second. She slips back to 6 under par, 4 behind now. Making moves on the leaderboard a little bit earlier on, Alison Corpuz, the American, the winner of the US Open a few weeks ago. She's back to 1 under for the day. She'd made a good move, but she's dropped a shot, has Corpuz, at the 13th, so she moves back to 1 under par. And Nelly Korda, the world number 1, still at 3 under par. She's really struggling with the putter again today. She's 7 shots adrift of the leader, Lilia Vu. Charlie Hull currently in a tie for second. She's just playing out of the heather, so in trouble again, Charlie Hull, down the side of the 4th.
Thank you very much, Kat. You can listen to full coverage right now on 5 Sports Extra. Celtic have beaten Aberdeen 3-1 at Pittodrie already today, so that's 2 wins out of 2 for them in the Scottish Premiership. In the 3 o'clock kickoffs, it's still Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0 and Motherwell 0, Hibs 0. Kilmarnock who beat Rangers in their first game of the season. Harry Kane says he doesn't want to finish his career with any regrets following his move to Bayern Munich. He made his debut last night in Bayern's 3-0 defeat to Leipzig in the German Super Cup, and Kane has been speaking to the German media for the first time this afternoon.
I've always said in my career I've wanted to keep improving, keep pushing myself to, my limits and see how far that can take me, and ultimately I wanted to be playing at the highest level. I wanted to be playing in the Champions League. I wanted to be fighting for titles every year. Coming to Bayern Munich, one of the biggest clubs in the world, gives me that opportunity. So I'm looking forward to that challenge.
You'll get more on that on the Football Daily podcast later on with Ben Haynes and Nader Manua, who's going to be on a lot during this new season. That'll be available later on tonight via the BBC Sounds app. A couple of other stories for you. Roberto Mancini has resigned from his role as Italy manager, and it looks like Kylian Mbappe is going to stay at PSG for another season, despite the fact he hasn't been training with the first team. He's been in this contract standoff. He's been linked with Real Madrid time and time again. PSG, though, have said that Mbappe has now been reinstated after, quote, very constructive and positive talks. And Fred has joined Fenerbahce from Manchester United in a deal which could be worth up to €15 million. We'll be back to Brentford shortly for second half commentary. When we're done there, 4:30, Chelsea versus Liverpool in full on Premier League Sunday. Maurizio Pochettino takes charge of his first game proper for Chelsea. It's a Liverpool reloaded, according to Jurgen Klopp. Our correspondent John Murray is in position. Afternoon, John.
Hello, Steve.
Absolutely no idea what to expect from these two.
No, but I can tell you that the name that I think is on the lips of everyone who's gathered here already is a young man who we won't see play today, and we don't know where his future lies. Moises Caicedo of Brighton and Hove Albion, and I can tell you that there's currently nothing further to report on his future destination. So yes, as I'm sure listeners will have picked up, that reports are now suggesting that he's very much more likely to land up here at Chelsea than he is at Liverpool, but it is still as it was on Friday morning, in that the only offer that has been accepted by Brighton is that from Liverpool of £111 million, which would be a new football transfer record between British clubs. But whether that changes or not, and whether we'll learn anything more when the two managers here speak before the match, we'll have to wait and see. But I would say, Steve, at one stage I thought it was going to be a little bit like Danny Baker's old sausage sandwich game, in that it was going to be either red shirt, blue shirt, or no shirt at all.
Very good. Very good. I suppose one thing it has done is other clubs who might have top central midfielders will now know exactly how much money Liverpool have in their pockets, if indeed they don't get him.
Which doesn't necessarily mean to say that they'll now go and spend it, of course. But yeah, there is definitely an argument to say that, yeah.
Yeah, so we get to see lots of new players, despite the fact we won't see Caicedo and, of course, a new man in the Chelsea dugout.
Yeah, that's right. He's on the front of the programme. I've got it here in front of me, the match programme. Maurizio Pochettino, former Tottenham manager, now dressed very much like a Chelsea manager in this photograph, actually, all dark blue and thumb up Chelsea scarf in his hand. So his first match as the manager of Chelsea in League or Cup against Liverpool. And you know, so much different, whether it's Pochettino, the captains, both teams will have a new captain, big change of personnel, certainly for Liverpool, certainly for Chelsea again. I just had a look on the match programme, actually, the other side of the match programme on the back. There are 29 players listed for Chelsea on there. And as has often been said, Maurizio Pochettino likes to work with quite a small squad. Well, he's not got that, despite all of the comings and goings. And he's also got injuries to deal with as well. So we know that Christopher Nkunku is going to be out for a matter of months. Wesley Fofana at the back, also out injured. And it just seems strange to me, you know, they've spent as much money as they have. So last summer, something like £250 million, the new owners. Then in January, even more than that, pushing up towards £300 million. And in this transfer window alone, millions and millions more. If they spend another 100 million plus on Caicedo, I think that would take it over 300 million in this transfer window. Yet they haven't really got an out-and-out goal scorer. They've got Romelu Lukaku, who's just totally out of the picture. They've signed Nicholas Jackson, 22 years old, so still, you know, relatively untried. Isn't that remarkable?
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised if, given all that, Jackson doesn't start. A player who...
That's what we're expecting.
Yeah, most listeners won't know that much about him. I don't think we know that much about him, to be completely honest. But the other thing we can't really predict is Liverpool's lineup, because they've got a lot of new players as well.
Yeah, Alexis McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai look like very good signings, I must say. And had they been able to bring in Moises Caicedo, you know, that would have been a really fresh and exciting looking midfield, as well as the fact Curtis Jones, who, you know, has come on quite strongly, I felt, last season, and also the youngsters as well that they've got, Harvey Elliott amongst them, Bajcetic, who's injured at the moment. You know, so the change goes on at Liverpool, and there are still goals in that team, without question, with Salah and Jota and Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunez, Cody Gakpo. That's not a bad lineup. Chelsea would take 1-2 of them.
Absolutely. We're going to hear from Cody Gakpo before kick-off as well. John, thank you very much. John Murray, who will have Matt Upson with him for commentary. Very much looking forward to that. Chelsea versus Liverpool in full at 4:30. It'll have to go some to be as good as the game that we've got going on right now. Half-time between Brentford and Spurs, 2-2. Clinton Morrison is with Ian Dennis.
And we're about to get underway. Yes, 2-2 between Brentford and Spurs, and Tottenham Hotspur playing from right to left as we look in their change strip, that charcoal grey shirts and shorts with the white socks. Get us back underway against the Brentford side in their red and white shirts and black shorts. Mark Flecken in goal for Brentford, a back three of Aya Pinnock and Nathan Collins. Rico Henry and Aaron Hickey are the wing backs, left and right respectively. Janelt Norgard Jensen in midfield, and Bumo and Wissa are the two up front. And for Tottenham Hotspur, who were forced into an early change, which I'm led to believe at half-time, Romero going off the field of play wasn't described or classified as a concussion substitute, so therefore they're only going to have two more opportunities to make changes in the second half. But at least that would mean then that he wouldn't, well, depending on whether he was concussed, whether he'd be missing then for the minimum 7 days, if that is the case. But anyway, his replacement is Sanchez. But in goal they've got Vicario. They've got Emerson at right back, who's on the ball now. Maddison delivers the ball, might come out to Udogie. So Sanchez and Van de Ven are the two central defenders. Destiny Udogie is the left back. Basuma, Maddison skip in midfield. Kulusevski, Son and Richarlison. And the other thing as well, I know we were being a little bit light-hearted at the end of the first half and talking about the sanitation issues that meant that there was a 5-minute delay to this game.
I just went to wash my hands in the toilet.
Yeah.
And there's no water.
So, yeah, but also you can't, the catering facilities are closed, the toilet facilities are closed, the players can't shower, and they weren't able to
water the pitch.
Wow. So here is Son meanwhile. Jensen has gone down off the ball. Maddison passes the ball to Kulusevski. Kulusevski onto his left foot, pulls it to Maddison. Maddison shoots, and Flecken makes the save. Left-footed, low, through a crowd of players, but they're going to throw the ball out of play because Jensen has gone down, and there's going to be another stoppage. We had, incidentally, 11 minutes of additional time in the first half.
Wow. How much do you think we'll get this off? I'm going to go 7. Let's just start.
Well, they used to estimate 30 seconds for each substitution, but now it's going to be exact time. So straight away, you're going to have the added on time now for Jensen, who looks like he's got a thigh problem with his left leg.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if, well, depending on how many substitutions, I think will be the significant factor in the answer to your question.
It will. I'll give you a bit more time, and you can tell me nearer the end.
Yeah, well, just like you might be able to tell us what your goal prediction was at some point.
I'll tell you now.
Go on.
3-2 Tottenham.
3-2 Tottenham, okay.
Our producer
asked
me on my way down, and I said, 3-2 Tottenham.
Right, okay.
So I'm not a million miles away, am I?
No, you're not, no. They actually haven't won at Brentford since 1948, albeit there's only been 7 visits since that 2-0 win at Griffin Park. Goals from Peter Buchanan and Fred Monk. But Jensen is unable to continue. Now here we're going to see Damsgaard coming onto the field of play. He's a Danish international, signed from Sampdoria last summer for just over £16.5 million. He had a very frustrating season last season because he was diagnosed with an infection. It was like a reactive arthritis, and it caused swelling around the joints. And actually, what didn't help the problem for the young Dane is that it was been misdiagnosed.
Oh, that's not good.
So that didn't necessarily help with the recovery. And when they did eventually find out what the infection was, the tablets quickly cured up that particular problem. But we're yet to really see the best of Damsgaard. But led to believe that during the summer they've been doing their best to try and bulk him up a little bit, because he is
he's a talent, that's for sure.
He is a talent, and he's a slight figure, isn't he, Damsgaard? But he has come on for his fellow Dane. 2-2, BBC Radio 5 Live, 5 minutes into the second half, and the ball goes back to Vicario, all in blue, gets it onto his left boot, clears it away. Maddison thought he was fouled by Collins, the referee says not. Ball slipped into the path of Norgard, look for the cutback, closed down well by Emerson. Last touch off Norgard, that'll be a goal kick, and Emerson gets the high fives from Van de Ven for what has been an entertaining game of football.
No, it has. It was good defending there from Emerson. Really good defending. He saw that Norgard was making a good run in behind and defended ever so well. But it has been a good game. It has. I just hope there's goals in the second half.
Incidentally, no goals as yet at Tynecastle or Fir Park between Hearts and Kilmarnock and Motherwell Hibs in the Scottish Premiership. Earlier, Celtic joined St Mirren on 6 points, 2 wins out of 2 in the embryonic stages of the Scottish Premiership campaign after a 3-1 win away at Aberdeen. We'll keep you in touch if those scorelines change in the Scottish Premiership. But here we are in West London, a little bit more cloud cover now above the community stadium here, as Basuma coming forward for Tottenham Hotspur to Maddison. Maddison caught by Damsgaard. Now, of course, not every foul has to be a yellow card. I think there was an attempt to play the ball from Damsgaard, and no action is taken. But Spurs take that quick free kick. Udogie to Son. Son up against Hickey, runs on the infield. Damsgaard stops him from going any further infield and passes the ball back to Van de Ven. Every outfield player of Tottenham Hotspur now is in the Brentford half away towards our right. It's the Spurs travelling support who find their voice as the ball now is played to Son. Level the penalty area on the left to Richarlison with his back to goal. Richarlison looking to turn, enters the penalty area. Sharp play by Richarlison, he wins a corner kick.
Good play from Richarlison, really good. He stands up Pinnock and then he rolls him. It's really good play and does well to win the corner. That's what you want to see Richarlison, link the play and then get into the box.
Maddison, who has been vocal, is getting a few boos and jeers as he comes across to this near side to take the corner kick. Left arm aloft, should be a right-footed corner kick. Indeed it is. Comes off the head of Sanchez, and that wasn't a good clearance at all from Ayer. It actually went in the opposite direction from where it was intended, off his right boot, and he's conceded another corner.
Didn't want to use his left foot then. That was it. It was meant to be a left foot clearance. He tried to clear with his right foot, and you're right, just spun off.
So Maddison has trotted from the left towards that far side, the right, and then deliberately, in an impish manner, deliberately places the ball out of the quadrant and then rolls it back inside just to wind up the Brentford fans. Now he delivers the corner kick. Pinnock's downward header. Kulusevski on the half volley, misconnected, left-footed down into the ground. Goal kick, 2-2.
Yeah, he's been quiet today, Kulusevski. I think he's the top player, but he's been a bit quiet. And I know they got the new signing Solomon on the pitch. And if I think rightly, when he came here last season with Fulham, he scored a brilliant goal here.
Solomon, who was signed from, well, he was on loan at Fulham, but signed from Shakhtar Donetsk. But that would be one of the 5 goals that he contributed before signing a 5-year deal from Shakhtar. But always looked like he was willing to try and change the game. He was a positive player, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was positive player. He had a spell at Fulham where he scored, like, I think them goals all in the space of a month and a half or something. Week in, week out he was scoring. A really good technician. So be interested if we see him this afternoon.
If I delve into the Red Book, I'm not going to tell you that this is your life, but I will give you the information on when he scored those goals.
Yeah, I know you've got that Red Book. That book. It's either the Red Book or the Black Book with you. And if you're in the Red Book, you're nice. Then I'll like you. So I'm in the Red Book.
The attendance, by the way, is just over 17,000. 66, 1,523 from Tottenham. And it's 2-2 at the moment as Kulusevski collects the ball midway through the right-hand side, passes the ball now to Emerson. Emerson delivers the cross, takes the deflection off the head of Norgard into the penalty area for Richarlison. Trying to turn, Richarlison still putting pressure on Collins, who was forced to concede the corner. He was sniffing an opening there, was Richarlison.
No, he was, you're right, he's spot on, he was sniffing it. It was good, it was a good touch, and then Collins done ever so well, but he was trying to play out from the back, and Richarlison was putting pressure on him. He had to clear it for a corner.
Now, Maddison on this near side, the left. Waits. Brentford have got everybody back inside their own penalty area. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Maddison kills it in now. Very good take by Flecken. Literally took it off the head of Richarlison.
That's what you want from your goalkeeper when you're under pressure, and Maddison with his delivery, really good goalkeeping.
You're right about Solomon too. He scored 5 goals in 5 successive games. Forest, Brighton, Wolves, Leeds and Brentford.
Yeah, I do my homework, even though the listeners might not think I do every now and again.
Yeah, that was a hot period that for him. It was February to March. He's got a number of then games without a goal, although he didn't start the last 6 for Fulham last season. 2-2 here on BBC Radio 5 Live.
They're dominating now. They are Tottenham are. And you can see Brentford probably look to make a few more changes.
10 minutes into the second period, and Brentford once again have dropped off. Now it's with Maddison. Maddison back to Van de Ven. Van de Ven, the Dutch defender for Spurs, strokes it to Sanchez, first half substitute, out to Kulusevski, tracked by Henry. Kulusevski's forward ball, Richarlison trying to go around Pinnock, but Pinnock holds him off. Pinnock forced towards the corner flag on that far side, under pressure, clears the ball out of play for a throw, and it's taken quickly. The multi-ball system is in operation. Spurs looking to try and build the pressure here on the hosts, as Out by Ayer. Again, didn't look too comfortable the ball at his feet, did Christopher Ayer. Conceded a throw. And as you say, Clinton, Spurs are seeing a lot of the ball here.
No, they are. They're dominating. Brentford can't get out at the moment.
Maddison finds Son. A few yards in from the left touchline. Level the penalty area. Back towards Van der Ven. Left-footed defender passes the ball infield to Sanchez. His forward pass to Emerson. Out towards the right. Kulusevski goes on the outside of Henry, delivers the cross. Good header away by Hickey under pressure. And then hooked further clear by Janelt. There's no out ball there because everybody was back, and so Sanchez goes to Vicario, and at the minute, well, now Brentford all of a sudden charge forward, and Sanchez is forced to go back to Vicario, because otherwise I couldn't really see Brentford getting out of their own half.
No, you're right. Tottenham have penned them in, and as I said, Postecoglou, the style of football he wants to do is a possession-based football, and they're doing it quite well in the second half.
Here is Norgard for Brentford. A little bit off balance. Visser infield. Janelt strikes it early. Good save by Vicario. Comes out to Damsgaard, down into the ground, and Vicario makes the save, moving away down towards his right. And it was a comfortable save.
It's a player that's not full of confidence, Damsgaard. If he's full of confidence, he either hits that first time, or when he does take a touch, he doesn't hit it cleanly enough. It's just comfortable save for Vicario in the goal, and that's a player that's not full of confidence at the moment. Has missed a lot of football.
Meanwhile, in stark contrast, Wisser's early effort, as soon as he only had one thing on his mind, hit it first time, and he forced a save from the keeper.
Yeah, definitely.
Maddison sprays the ball forward. Henry steps out of defence, gets there before Kulusevski, brings the ball under control short of the halfway line. Brentford red and white striped shirts, black shorts, playing from left to right. Damsgaard now out towards Hickey, midway through the Tottenham half. Brentford now, their turn to attack. With Mbumo, looks towards Wisser, headed away by Emerson, who is tucked in, helped further away by Skip. Richarlison comes back to help out, gives the ball away. This is Wisser on the overlap, penalty area. Henry looking towards Janelt. Good block that came in from Sanchez. Brentford try and win it back. Basuma, though, gets away from the challenge of Wisser. And now all of a sudden Spurs shirts are flooding forward, urged on by Postecoglou, who wanted it, I think, early, judging by his body language. But Kulusevski has it. Right corner of the area. Kulusevski finds Son onto his left foot, switches it onto his right. Tees up Basuma. Little flick. Kulusevski. Man over right corner of the area. Emerson plays it back towards Kulusevski, down towards the byline. Checks back, rolls it in short. They get a corner kick. 2-2. What an entertaining game this is.
Brilliant. But they're trying to score the perfect goal there. You got Basuma, you got Son on the edge of the box who can get their shot away, and that's why Postecoglou was a bit frustrated. But it is brilliant football. It's end to end. Brentford have a good opportunity. Tottenham break and go down the other end. Really good football match.
I'm not saying that your prediction might come right, but I do believe that it will not remain at 2-2 on the balance of what we've seen so far in these opening 14 minutes.
So basically you're saying I know what I'm talking about. Thanks, mate. I knew you was one of my favourites.
I always never doubt you anyway. Clinton Morrison alongside us here on BBC Radio 5 Live as Maddison takes the corner kick. It's an outswinger, right hand side, headed away. Comes to Kulusevski on the edge of the area for Spurs, still at 2-2 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Kulusevski's shot takes deflection. Son, far side. Good save by Flecken. Reacted well with his legs. Back out towards Son. Son towards the byline. Headed out by Collins. Then comes out towards Van der Ven. And he skies that left-footed into the Brentford fans behind that goal. And it remains at 2-2 as we'll get the team news from Stamford Bridge of Chelsea-Liverpool from John Murray.
Well, there are competitive debuts for Chelsea for new signings. Nicholas Jackson up front, Axel Disasi at the back, and Robert Sanchez in goal. But also for Levi Colwill, who was on loan at Brighton last season, which makes it look like Chelsea, with Thiago Silva in the team, will be playing three central defenders, and we weren't expecting that from Mauricio Pochettino. And as for Liverpool, they play the same team that started their final pre-season friendly, which means competitive debuts for McAllister and Szoboszlai in midfield, and that means a front four for Liverpool of Salah, Diaz, Gakpo and Jota.
Should be an entertaining listen. Matt Upson is alongside John. Commentary on 5 Live from 4:30. Here we are back at Brentford. It's still 2-2. Get the thoughts of Clinton from the save of Flecken with his feet from Son in a moment, but Spurs are coming forward again. Basuma to Richarlison, back to goal edge of the area, out towards Emerson right hand side, shifts it inside towards Kulusevski. Emerson's forward ball. Basuma enters the penalty area, very congested. Maddison had a first time effort that was blocked. just a body of Brentford shirts there.
Yeah, it's hard to get past it. That's what I mean. But they are moving it better, Tottenham, at the moment, really well. Flecken's save earlier is a good save. Son tries to beat him on his near post. I feel he can only go there because the defender's coming across. But it's a really positive save. See, if I'm Tottenham now, I'm probably throwing on an extra attacking midfielder in Lo Celso. Maybe sacrificing Skip because he's been on the yellow card, and you're dominating possession at the moment.
Postecoglou watching, hands on hips down below, the burly figure of the 57-year-old, signed a 4-year deal. The last 10 managers, if you include caretakers for Spurs, only Andre Villas-Boas lost his opening game against Newcastle United back in 2012. It's 2-2 here. Son in a wrestling contest with Hickey. He's clearly being held, and it'll be a yellow card for Hickey.
Brilliant play from Son. He uses his body ever so well, and he's done well against him, Hickey, so far, because Son hasn't been at it. He's been very good in his second half, but Hickey's done well. But it's good touch and good strength.
Well, yeah, Hickey's shown a yellow card on his 100th club career start for the Scottish international. 62 minutes played, and gives a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur, who are 30 yards out from goal. Brentford have got everybody back. The same scoreline when these two sides met on Boxing Day. On that occasion, you might recall, Brentford were 2-0 up, and then Kane and Højbjerg got the goals back. Kane's already left. Højbjerg may well be on his way before deadline day on the 1st of September. Maddison, one of the new boys, clips over the free kick, too close to Flecken. It was an easy catch for the Dutchman in goal for Brentford, who, when he signed from Freiburg, was given the assurances that he would be the number one. It was always, I think, the anticipation that David Raya would be away from Brentford in the summer. No foul on Mbumo. Maddison tells him to get up. Basuma then brings the ball clear for Tottenham Hotspur, and he gets a little nudge there from Norgard that just pushes him off course a little bit, but holds on to the ball. Skip now to Kulusevski midway through the Brentford half. 63 minutes played. 2-2. All the 4 goals came in the 56 minutes of the first half, if you include the additional time. Maddison, Van der Ven at a walking pace, but inside the Brentford half. And Basuma does a 360-degree turn and slips it through now towards Maddison. Maddison finds Richarlison. Richarlison forces a save first time out of Flecken. Straight at him, head high, beaten away by both hands.
Yeah, it's good play. Basuma's been excellent in the second half, really dominating that midfield, and Maddison getting into pockets. And you know he's always going to pick the right ball. Richarlison will be disappointed. It's a comfortable save from Flecky, but it was a reasonable height for him. He needs to be going hard and low.
Now it's with Kulusevski, who can step up to the plate in the absence of Harry Kane. They're going to have to get used to life without their former talisman. Maddison with the cross. He scored 30 of Tottenham's 70 goals in the Premier League last season. Brentford, looks like there's activity on their bench down below. Basuma wins the ball back for Spurs. Short forward ball, Son out to Udogie, the left back. Basuma left corner of the area. Brentford have every player in and around their own penalty area, but Wissa breaks from the ranks and then looked like he was going to then break free, and then there was Emerson made the challenge, but the referee on this occasion, despite the howls of protest from the Brentford supporters, escapes any action from Robert Jones, the ref. 2-2.
Yeah, it's sloppy play from Emerson. I don't know what he's doing. He just needs to move the ball, and he's trying tricks in that. Just keep it simple. Tottenham are dominating possession at the moment.
Ball hoisted high to Henry, far side the left. Waits doesn't deliver the ball. They've doubled up on the left wing back. And now it's with Aya, who's joining the attack on that far side the left. Henry's cross blocked by Emerson, falls to Norgard. He really does make a difference in the midfield to Brentford. Aya then to Pinnock to Collins, and Collins can't turn. He was aware of the presence of Maddison and had to go all the way back to Fleck, and the goalkeeper, though, with his distribution again That's pinpoint pass. That's a lovely ball from the keeper to Henry. Lovely the way that he brought it out of the air too from Rico Henry, who certainly has caught the eye again here today. Norgard, Brentford's turn to attack. Norgard with a dipping cross claimed by the Spurs keeper Vicario, and it's an overarm throw out up towards Richarlison, who all of a sudden tried to get away from Pinnock, but Pinnock just stepped forward and an outstretched foot took the ball out of play for a throw to prevent him being exposed.
He had to. It was one-on-one. It was a good throw from Vicario, and he was there. He was one-on-one, but Pinnock, good defending. He just showed him the ball there, Richarlison, and Pinnock done ever so well.
Not only are we going to go to Chelsea-Liverpool at 4:30 for our next commentary game, but the two Women's World Cup semi-finals will both be live on 5 Live from Down Under on Tuesday. Spain against Sweden, and then England-Australia from 11 o'clock. And in the 5 Live Football Daily podcast, there will be regular interviews from the England camp in the build-up to that semi-final on Wednesday, where also we'll bring you the Super Cup, Sevilla against Manchester City on Wednesday night from Athens. Here is Son. We're in West London, though, for the time being, as part of 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. Brentford 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2, and we're midway through the second half. Sanchez trying to pass the ball forward towards Son. The referee's now going to bring play back for a late challenge on Sanchez from Wissa.
He's lucky because the pass was terrible, to be fair, and he gets away with one because Wissa catches him late.
Again, though, another good example of the referee trying to let the game flow.
That's what you
it?
want. You want it to be free-flowing, and it has been in this second half. Referee's done well.
Here is Richarlison with his back to goal just outside the D. Plays it out to Kulusevski. Emerson will go on the overlap as a decoy run. Ball in field. Cleared inside the penalty area by Collins. Volleyed away then by Janelt.
Because they defend so deep, Brentford, they don't have that one person. That's where they're missing Tony, to hold the ball up when it is being cleared at the moment.
Here is Emerson to Basuma. They're trying to find a way through at the moment. They're probing as Spurs. Here is Udogie, who pops up in a central area, and Udogie surges into the penalty area, and then with a cut back towards Richarlison, headed away just in front of the Brazilian, but won back by Tottenham. No way out for Brentford. They're on the back foot at the moment, the home side. Postecoglou watching on as Basuma makes a run, tries to thread a small ball through towards Richarlison. Stopped. Maddison wins it back. Brentford at the moment can't get out of their own half.
No, they can't. And when they do get out, they've got to be able to keep the ball better than that. It's just coming straight back at them. They're defending ever so well, but they can't get out. You're spot on there.
Here is Vicario. Vocal support from Tottenham in that far side. As Richarlison's layoff towards Maddison. The runners off the ball are Skip and Kulusevski. Spurs get a throw on that far side, the right. You do wonder.
I think Papi Sarr's coming on and Ben Davis.
Well, we're going to see Sharda, Roeslev,
and Baptiste, I think. Yeah, that's Baptiste.
And so there's going to be.
And then Tottenham are making. I don't understand bringing on a fullback and a midfielder like Sarr, because it's like for like, basically. I think you can go on and win the game, but maybe, as I said, this is still early, in kind of the pre-season. I'm saying, I know the season starts, but you don't get your fitness up until at least 5 or 6 games. Your match fitness, sorry.
Well, Thomas Frank is going to make the 3 changes. Son, meanwhile, on the left-hand side towards Udogie. Links up. Son, the captain for Spurs now, takes it on towards the byline. Hickey, though, stands up towards him. The ball doesn't go behind. Instead, he rolls it down the line towards Mbumo, and then diving in is Van der Ven, and the ball goes out of play for a throw. Sharda, who incidentally was on loan last season from Freiburg, but that was made a permanent deal. For a time it was a club record signing until Collins arrived. £22 million for Kevin Sharda, who might offer that little bit of pace.
Yeah, he is quick. Now Sharda is quick, very quick, and he can stretch them in behind to get them up the pitch.
And as you say, Shandon Baptiste will be the other player who's going to be coming on. Sarr and Davis are going to be the changes for Tottenham Hotspur. So we're going to have 5 substitutions in a moment. 2-2. And we've got 19 minutes remaining of normal time. Ball back with Pinnock. Out from his feet well. Finds Damsgaard in the centre circle. Now Mbumo released. up against Udogie, the left back. Mbeumo looking for some support. Udogie's holding on to Mbeumo. Bit of a wrestling contest, and eventually Udogie goes to ground, and the assistant referee gives it in favour of Tottenham, when really it was Udogie who pulled on the shirt of Mbeumo first of all.
Yeah, he did, but the linesman's there though. He's 5 yards away. He did after Mbeumo did pull on Udogie, but I thought it was good defending from Udogie because Mbeumo was in behind. Really good defending from the youngster, and he's done well this afternoon so far.
He's only 20 years of age, the Italian under-21 international, signed a year ago from Udinese for £18 million and then loaned back to Udinese last season. Right, here come the changes. So we've told you who's coming on: Sharda, Baptiste and Ruislev. It is Hickey who's going to be coming off.
This is one as well. This is one, and Norgard.
Ruislev for Hickey. Baptiste comes on for Norgard. No surprise, bearing in mind his last appearance was April due to that Achilles problem that hampered him last season. And then Sharda comes on for Johan Wissa. So that's the Brentford changes, and Tottenham are going to be bringing on a double change of Davis and also
Sarr.
Pape Sarr.
Yeah, and then now it might be a different. It might be more because I'm seeing Perisic get ready as well. So yeah, it's Perisic as well. So it's a triple substitution from Tottenham.
So play is still going to get underway without the changes because, as you say, they're going to add Perisic to that as well. So Tottenham's changes are on hold for the time being. Of course, they've already been forced to use one change with Sanchez in the first half with that head injury just seconds after he'd given Tottenham a 1-0 lead. They then fell 2-1 down, and it's now at 2-2. Still, those final instructions are getting across to the players from Ryan Mason. Flecken. Ball goes back to Pinnock. It was Shandon Baptiste who held on to it as I don't think he was too aware that Skip was so close towards him. But here is Baptiste now. Forward ball. Reaches Sharda. Sharda running forward in towards the penalty area. Gathered in by the keeper.
He has a better touch. He's in there then. It's a good ball from Baptiste. I don't know if he was aiming for Sharda, but really good play from Brentford, from Collins, and yeah, he should really be doing better with his first touch.
Vicario clears it long away downfield, headed forward by the blonde-haired Ruislev. Back it goes to him. He passes the ball back to Flecken. There's the Danish utility player. There's now Collins, switches play from the right to the left. Emerson cuts it out though, preventing it reaching Rico Henry midway through his own half. Comes across Skip, lets it come across his body, holds off Baptiste, plays it back to Van der Ven. Didn't necessarily go down as an own goal earlier, by the way. It was credited to Wissa, as the ball from Vicario puts Sanchez under all sorts of pressure, and he concedes a throw due to the attentions of Sharda. So Brentford have a throw on the left, and now here comes the triple change for Tottenham Hotspur. So Skip is going to be coming off.
And Son, wow, surprised at that.
So Sarr replaces Skip in the midfield. Perisic is going to be replacing Son, who now hands the captain's armband to Maddison, who along with Romero has been named as vice captains this week. And Ben Davis.
They've held that on. He was coming on for Udogie, but Ndogie's done well. I wouldn't know why you'd want to make a change at fullback, especially when he's done well.
So it means that they've just got one more opportunity to make further substitutions. But the Spurs captain Son is off. 15 minutes remain of normal time. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. It's 2-2. Ball played forward by Henry. Headed forward then by Collins. Cleared on the full by Van der Ven. Out of it goes for a throw to Brentford.
You know, I'm surprised he's not brought Solomon on. He's a new signing, and that's why he wants to play in one of them wide areas. I'm very surprised at that.
Ola Celso, another player who...
yeah, I thought maybe, go to try and go and win the game.
Maddison once again is testing the patience of referee Robert Jones. He's still talking to the referee. He's told to walk away. It's a free kick to Brentford. 14 minutes remain. Is there going to be a decisive goal as these two sides are locked at 2-2? Still no goals in the two games at 3 o'clock in the Scottish Premiership. Hearts, Kilmarnock and Motherwell, Hibernian. Commentary from 4:30 at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, Liverpool to come with Matt Upson and John Murray. So free kick, a few yards in from the right touchline. Brentford are playing from left to right, and Mbeumo it is, left-footed, in it goes, headed out easily by Basuma. Picked up by Rico Henry midway through the Spurs half. Damsgaard will give it back to the left wing back just outside the centre circle. He hits a left-footed ball into the air. Schade provides the width, bounces off his chest, challenged by Richarlison, tries to wriggle free, goes to ground, no foul says the referee. Spurs up towards Basuma, closed down and caught in possession by Janelt, and then cleared and hammered away by Emerson, and it was Damsgaard who was the last line of defence for Brentford, who tied it up back towards Flecken. Here is Damsgaard once again. At the time being, he's operating in a right-back role. There's Collins with a sweeping ball away downfield. Henry has stayed so high up the pitch, the left wing-back. His header in field looked towards Schade. There was Emerson. Tried the little fancy turn. Pape Sarr now takes over. 14 appearances that Pape Sarr, the Senegalese international, made last season as Udogie passes the ball to Van de Ven, and 13 minutes remain. Here is Emerson. Sanchez takes no risks with Schade. Back it goes all the way to Vicario. At times has been a little bit suspect, hasn't he, with his distribution?
Yeah, he has. He definitely has. But credit to him, he's still trying to play out from the back. So
Perisic, near side the left, goes on the inside of Roerslev, and now faced by Damsgaard. He ran into Damsgaard. Damsgaard didn't impede him. He was looking for a free kick. Referee Robert Jones wasn't going to be bought by that. Instead, Damsgaard releases Roerslev. His early ball strikes Van de Ven. Balloons up behind him. Van de Ven goes in for a challenge with Schade. Are coming together inside the penalty area, and the referee says no. And that might be a dead leg there for Udogie against Collins. The ball goes out of play. Now, naturally, VAR will have a look.
They will have a look, but
it just looked like a fair 50-50 challenge.
He's not getting that. No chance. No way.
No.
He gets the ball.
Yeah. Didn't think it was... earlier on when we said it was a penalty with Jensen, we went naturally with penalty.
We did, yeah.
There it just looked like a fair old challenge between the two. Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0. Half-time at Tynecastle, and also half-time at Fir Park. Motherwell Hibs is also goalless. Celtic earlier 3-1 winners away at Aberdeen at Pittodrie. So VAR would have had a look. A lot of liquid refreshment is being taken on board. Play says get on with it, says the referee after that VAR check. Tony Harrington quite rightly saying that was no penalty. Match of the day 2 tonight, by the way, on BBC One at 10:30. Here is Basuma. Not only you can see the highlights of both of today's games, but also all the goals from yesterday. Perisic away from Roerslev, delivers an early ball in, left-footed, caught by Flecken. Handling has been assured by the Dutch international, as he holds onto the ball, all in pink in the sunshine. And it looks like Brentford are going to make their final opportunity of changes as further activity is taking place down towards our left as we sit low down in the main stand here in the community stadium. Patches of blue sky. The cloud cover though is lifting. The clouds are high. The sun now starting to shine here in West London on a very pleasant afternoon with 10 minutes remaining of normal time. Collins goes to ground far too easily with Maddison. Again, putting pressure on Robert Jones. I mean, that wasn't... I wouldn't say that's a foul.
No, I wouldn't say it was a foul. I agree with you.
But he's got to be careful, because he's on a yellow card.
You're right.
And if he's not careful, very soon, persistent defending, as that was a tug back from Rico Henry on Van de Ven.
They're baying for him. The fans want him off, so he has to be careful now.
But he's doing another Clinton Morrison trick. He's talking. He's in the ear of the referee. They're still talking to each other. Here is Basuma. Emerson passes the ball to Kulusevski, far side, with 9 minutes remaining. The next goal could be crucial. I don't think we'll get the level of added on time that we had in the first half. We had 11 minutes in that first half. It's the ball from Van de Ven to Perisic. Udogie's gone on ahead of him. Perisic tries to clip it into the path of Richarlison, but was blocked. Picked up by Damsgaard. Roersleff is the outlet on the outside of him. On this near side, the right, he passes the ball forward towards Damsgaard, and Van de Ven comes across, and that was a no-nonsense bit of defending. No time to admire where it went, because with a multi-ball system, Brentford have taken the throw quickly on the right-hand side.
No, they have. Yeah, Roersleff, he just didn't have the pace to go past him. But you know what, Van de Ven, he's done well. He is quick as well. You did say he was quick. He is quick.
Six-year deal.
He's adapted to life in the Premier League. I know it's only one game, but he looks good.
He's only 21 years of age as well. Roersleff puts it in early from the right-hand side, a fraction too close to the goalkeeper. And Guillermo Vicario dives forward, all in blue, to gather it in, then drops it to the feet of the player who we've just been talking about, the £34.5 million signing from Wolfsburg. 8 minutes of normal time remaining. Here is Emerson. Now with Pape Sarr on the halfway line. Now it's with Basuma. Basuma in the centre circle to Maddison. Maddison, he's trying to complain to Richarlison about a lack of movement. I think he was just waving his left arm around a little bit. There was Maddison. All of a sudden, it just feels as if the pace has slowed down a little bit in these closing stages. Here is Udogie on the ball now, out to Perisic. 7 minutes remain. Udogie makes the run towards the byline, passes it back to Perisic, delivers a right-footed cross, and the header from Pape Sarr at the far post was a rather tame one. There wasn't a great deal of power off his head there.
No, there wasn't.
Long ball downfield to Schade. Saw him last season, and Schade tended to play out wide. He might have to. They might have to try and adapt their way of playing, and he might have to be a number 9, use his pace to try and stretch defences. But
yeah, when you're under pressure like this, I think you're spot on there now. That's when you need to stretch them, because it just keeps coming back, and as I said earlier, they haven't got that Ivan Toney who can hold the ball up and relieve pressure.
Pape Sarr leaves it now to Kulusevski, crosses into the penalty area. Perisic had made the run, and Perisic almost got on the end of that. It's gone out of play for a goal kick, as we're going to see. Well, it says Zanka, but of course it's the former Huddersfield defender Mathias Jorgensen. That's his nickname. But Jorgensen is coming on, and the player is coming off is Aya. And that's no more changes allowed now. They've used their 3 opportunities in this second half of Brentford. But fresh legs for the closing stages for Jorgensen to replace Aya. With 6 minutes remaining. 2-2. BBC Radio 5 Live. Janelt heads it forward. Mbeumo. That was a nice cushion touch on the top of the left boot. Falls to the floor, gets a free kick. A challenge from Udogie. And this is a dangerous position that Brentford, with the aerial threat that they would always pose at set pieces. Maddison again is talking to the referee. It's been an ongoing dialogue, I think, between Maddison and Rob Jones.
Yeah. He's just been playing up all afternoon, isn't he? In the referee's ear, in his ear.
So for this free kick, which is about 6 yards away from the right corner of the penalty area, Tottenham have got everybody back. It's 2-2, 5 minutes remain. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. Damsgaard, if he wants to take it right-footed, or Mbeumo for the in-swinger left-footed. Janelt has just walked away. Only one in the wall, who is Maddison. Spurs have everybody back. Damsgaard right-footed, kills it. Headed out easily, didn't beat the first man. Pape Sarr with a header as he stooped. Damsgaard plays it back down this near right-hand side. Mbumo towards Janelt, but strong defending from Emerson. Out of play it goes. He ushers the ball out for a throw. 4.5 minutes of normal time. Janelt has just picked up there's a knock slightly. He was just touching his heel there. They're not allowed to make any more changes, but he looks okay to continue. As the sun shines brightly now, and it's 2-2 still, with all the goals coming in the first half here at the Community Stadium. They're going to go long with a throw. There's the signal. Everybody runs into the penalty box. It's a very crowded penalty area. It's a long throw in now. Schade with a flick on. Might come to Roeslev. Hits it right-footed. Flick on by Janelt. Played back in.
That's a goal.
Almost it kept alive at the far post. What an effort that was from Jorgensen. They're appealing for handball as well. It was a cross-come shot, but it was dropping very, very awkwardly for Vicario. Not too sure actually if it shaved the front of the crossbar. But Jorgensen almost caused the keeper much embarrassment. He plays the ball forward to Schade. Schade lifts it over the goalkeeper. And Schade catches, or is caught rather, by Vicario, but it was after he'd clipped it right-footed. It went over the top. They're looking for a penalty, but it'll be a goal kick.
I don't know where Vicario is coming there, and Schade, he should just take, if he sees him coming, he's got to be more clever. He tries to lob him. Why does he not take a touch? If he takes a touch around him, then I think he gets the penalty, and he's got a better angle, but he rushes it.
It was a bouncing ball. It probably, what was it, knee height, and he's tried to lift it.
Lifts it from a difficult angle, but Vicario doesn't have to come out. He's coming out, and he's racing out, and he's made his decision for him. Before that, it was unlucky from Sanka Jorgensen. It was really unlucky.
I don't even think that went to, I mean, it would have gone to VAR, but Rob Jones was insistent when Janelt was having a word. You could just see the referee shaking his head and saying, no, it's a goal kick. He'd have had a really good view of that, the referee. 2.5 minutes of normal time remain. 5 live, still 2-2. Kulusevski. Is there time for a late winner? Here is Basuma. We'll get the thoughts of Thomas Frank and Ange Postecoglou on BBC Radio 5 Live. If you're unable to hear them, or we're unable to bring them to you before the Chelsea-Liverpool game, then 5 Live Football Daily podcast will have all the reaction from today's fixtures. Sanchez just about keeps the ball in play, 6 yards inside his own half. Kulusevski stumbles, falls to the floor, and then Jorgensen passes the ball to Janelt, and now with Collins to Pinnock, central figure in that back three. Jorgensen helps it to Rico Henry. Little touch coming back into his own half for Mbumo, still on that far side. Jorgensen, Roeslev is crying out for the ball on this near side. The right wing back was pushed quite high over the halfway line. Flecken now with his distribution will find him. Header in field first time by Roeslev. Van der Ven appealing for handball against the young Dutchman, but he holds on to it. Perisic now looks for Maddison, makes the run in behind. Maddison to Richarlison. Richarlison tried to place it, but that was Jorgensen who got the timely block in, because Richarlison opened up his body, hit it first time right-footed, but Jorgensen defended well, snuffed it out.
He's got to do better for me, Deno. He doesn't move the ball enough. Once Maddison gets him into it, you can see Jorgensen's there. He should shift it onto his left and then get a shot away. It was good play from Perisic and Maddison. He's got to do better, Richarlison, in that situation for me.
Now this, normally, Emerson's just gone to ground, and normally maybe last season this would have been an instance where you're thinking, oh, the time wasting.
Yeah.
But he got quickly back to his feet, because he knows if he leaves the field of play, he's off for at least 30 seconds.
Yep.
Kulusevski, back to Emerson. 60 seconds of normal time remain. Into the feet of Richarlison with his back to goal. Can't turn his man. Comes to Emerson, keeps it alive for Spurs, out to Kulusevski, far side the right. Kulusevski plays it back now to Sanchez. Van der Ven onto his left foot, finds Maddison. Maddison to Perisic, turns it round the corner to Udogie, who's ahead of him. Back towards Perisic, still on this near side, the left. How much additional time will we have? Who got the last touch for that? Came off Roeslev. It'll be a Spurs corner kick at 2-2. The pantomime villain in the eyes of the Brentford supporters is James Maddison.
Must be previous.
Either that, or he's just chirping, his constant chirping to the referee. He's just got on the Brentford fans' nerves. Maddison to take it. 4 minutes of additional time. In comes the corner kick. Collins heads it out, only as far as Kulusevski. Right side of the penalty area. It's a crowded box as he fires it back in. Damsgaard clears it away. Emerson is the one who's got all the time in the world to retrieve that ball, and then he goes back because of the presence of Mbumo to Vicario. Would 2-2 be a fair result for you, Clinton?
Yeah, more than likely. Tottenham have been the better team in the second half, but haven't really created any clear-cut chances apart from Son, where Fleckney makes a good save.
Here is Maddison, runs away from Baptiste. Maddison glides across the ground to Kulusevski, tries to find Kulusevski. Comes then out to Udogie, Basuma, Sharda, everybody back for Brentford now. Brilliant sunshine here in West London. Emerson chips it in, Richarlison rises, doesn't quite drop towards Kulusevski. Hooked away by Pinnock inside his own penalty area. Spurs try and win it back, but lose the ball on that far side. Damsgaard then gives it away, and it's won back by Pape Sarr. Spurs finishing this game the stronger of the two teams at 2-2 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Kulusevski, right corner of the area. Pape Sarr back towards Basuma. Brentford though defending deep and defending in numbers. Now with Van der Ven, midway through the Brentford half. To Maddison. Udogie, 10 yards away from the penalty area, being tracked by Baptiste. They go across the back line. To Sanchez. Cries of come on Brentford, come on Brentford. Trying to see their side over the line. They've got a good record. They're unbeaten in their last 9 London derbies. Pinnock heads it away to repel that Maddison ball into the penalty area. Pape Sarr almost runs it out of play for a throw over on that far side.
This has been the story of the second half though, hasn't it? Brentford defending well, Tottenham, lacking that cutting edge in front of goal.
Yeah, as you say, they haven't really created too many clear-cut opportunities in this second half. Flecken reacting well with his feet at the far post to keep out Son was probably the closest that Spurs have come in this second period, as it remains 2-2, and we've got about 90 seconds remaining. Perisic with the throw. It's going to be a long one, and it comes from the left-hand side, headed out easily by Baptiste at the near post, only as far as Udogie. Directs his header back towards Perisic, faced up by Ruisled, tries to go on the outside with the cutback into the penalty area. Baptiste clears it, but as you say, it's coming back. There's no one there, there's no out ball, so it just keeps coming back at Brentford.
I'm all for defending in your numbers, but I always still think you need a target man to hit so you can get up the pitch, and that's been a story of the second half of Brentford. Haven't been able to get out. Kulusevski
plays it down the line for Emerson, seen back by Jorgensen, cleared. Not the best of clearances though by Flecken. He's been good with his distribution up until that point. Only went to as far as Basuma. He goes short and square to Udogie. Back with Maddison once again. If any side's going to snatch it, it's going to be Tottenham Hotspur. Here is Maddison. You have to go back to August 21 for the last time that Tottenham played a Premier League game without Harry Kane. He had started 74 consecutive Premier League appearances in the first game without their record goal scorer. They might be, just as they were last season here, held to a 2-2 draw by this Brentford side. Now Janelt holding on to the ball, preventing Basuma from taking it. Now that should result in a yellow card.
Yeah, you're right.
If there's consistency from the match officials, he deliberately prevented Tottenham from taking a quick free kick.
Exactly.
But he's not, and instead the free kick is taken short, and by my watch the 4 minutes are up, and there are the end of the game. For what was certainly an entertaining first half, and Ange Postecoglou, his Spurs reign is up and running, and just like Tottenham managers before him, he finds that Brentford are a very awkward opposition, obdurate opposition, and it's finished 2-2. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, it has, but seeing Ange Postecoglou's new look, Tottenham, they're not bad in possession. They have to move the ball quickly, 1 and 2 touch, but it weren't bad after going behind it. after taking the league and then going behind and coming back, they showed real togetherness. So it's been a difficult week for Tottenham, losing Harry Kane, their talisman, all their goals. But yeah, credit to them, and you know what it's like coming to Brentford. It's always difficult. Thomas Frank's done a brilliant job. They are missing Ivan Toney, but Mbuemo and Visa both scored today, so that will give them confidence moving forward.
Well, they still remain unbeaten in the absence of Ivan Toney, but after Romero's early header for Spurs, he then had to leave the field of play after a blow to the head, but Brentford responded well. Mbumo with a penalty got the equaliser, and then 11 minutes later Wissa put Brentford ahead, but Emerson, after a good advantage played by the referee on the stroke of half-time, well, in 11 minutes of additional time actually, Emerson got the equaliser, and that's the way it stayed. 2-2. Steve.
Both managers on the pitch right now shaking hands with all the players. We'll wait and see. It'll probably be half-time at Stamford Bridge by the time we hear from them, Clinton, but you would imagine...